Welcome back, everybody, to the week of wrestling. I'm your host, Hern Chambliss. I'm joined by my co-host, Ryan Payne. How's it going, man?
Pretty good so far. It's been a very relaxing Memorial Day weekend, I'll be honest. Finally got to sleep in again.
Woo!
Fantastic.
Sounds lovely. And tonight we are talking about AEW Double or Nothing 2024. A hell of a card. We have, I believe, 12 matches
Uh,
on the main card? And then 14 in total because we had 2 pre-match.
yeah, two on the two on 0 hour. I thought it was maybe 10 or 11. I mean, you have the lineup right there and there, but yeah, there was 2 on 0 hour, which you did tell me you didn't watch. I will say those matches on 0 hour were very good.
10 total matches, 12 including the pre-show.
Yeah, 0 hour was good though. I do appreciate what AEW is doing with 0 hour. They really are like being more sports based presentation with it, especially earlier on in the first 30 to 40 minutes. They had Renee, RJ, and Jeff Jarrett really run through that card. Really go, yeah. They had Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett was actually very good during the 0 hour. He was really dipping a little bit in between of his heel personality, but then getting straight to business when it came to sizing up every card.
Is it ever said? Does Jeff Jarrett have like some like backstage position, or is he just? Is he just a wrestler? Like I would
just a wrestler. I'm not sure. Maybe he might have some in. I don't know if he's a producer.
Maybe talent relations or something.
Possibly, but it does seem to me that he's simply just there as a wrestler,
which is fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know Jeff Jarrett. He has plenty. Well, he does have so much years of experience. I'm pretty sure he does get to add in his perspective when it comes in producing some matches. But it does seem to me Jeff Jarrett, he's kind of there on a case by case basis, I'll just say.
Yeah, I know that right now Chuck Taylor is actually done with in-ring stuff, and he is going to be a producer and a trainer backstage now.
Yeah, they have completely come forward with it. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to cough for a minute. So Ryan, what is your thoughts on the overall AEW Double or Nothing?
I enjoyed this pay-per-view. It was really a lot of fun. They were doing a good job of really trying to balance not just balance, but stay focused on how far they've come from the first Double or Nothing and to focusing on what they have right now. They didn't spend too much time trying to be all nostalgic and everything. Just go like, ooh, there's this moment that was fantastic. Ooh, there's this moment here. No, they were just going on like, this is how far we've come in our company. This is exactly what we have right now. And they were so looking forward towards the future because they were focusing so much on the card right now. But there was those occasional packages to where they focused on where there was wrestlers who were there in the beginning. I mean, especially what we got with the Elite versus Team AEW package. But it was clear from the get-go that this Double or Nothing was really meant to cement a new, not chapter, but a continuing legacy and a continuing work for the future for AEW to establish itself.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I really enjoyed this pay-per-view. I get so tired of people saying, oh, AEW has long pay-per-views. I do not care how long an AEW pay-per-view is.
For $50, I don't give a fuck if it's 6 hours. I want my money's worth. You want less matches on a pay-per-view? Go watch WWE. This is not a shot at them, but after Backlash and seeing with Clash of the Castle coming up, and of course with the King and Queen tournament, it was mainly 5 or 6 matches throughout both cards. So you want less matches, get a Peacock subscription and watch those. But if you want to actually get money, if you want to get more bang for your buck, there's AEW, there's TNA, and there's MLW. All 3 are now available on Triller TV. This is not a promotion of it. I'm just saying the fact that all 3 of them have pay-per-views on Triller TV. There you can watch there you will see the difference of having a 10 plus card or having a 6 or 8 plus card worth how much it pays for the pay-per-view. Because guess what? They want to bring. I think the importance of establishing pay-per-views is the importance of it. If I'm gonna
Yeah.
pay $50 for it, then I want every match to feel like it is not just epic, but important.
Mm-hmm.
And
And also, like,
yeah, go ahead.
I have a feeling that if they do get the partnership with Max, that they will cut down the match card probably from like 12 to probably like 6 to 8.
Maybe, yeah. Although hearing from certain, I mean, I understand. Yeah, they will cut things down. Maybe the 0 hour on YouTube might have more matches now.
Mm.
Uh, but currently, right now, I don't mind what they're doing with the pay per view format because they're, as I said before, they want the whole points in the past when it came with when you're a sports fan, something on pay per view was meant to be very important. It's like, oh, I saved up this much money just so I can watch this one time event that I might never get a chance to see again. I mean, at least
Mm-hmm.
now with most streaming service, at least now when you do buy something, you do have the option to watch it again. But if most of us, and I'm gonna say most of us, maybe past our who grew up in the who grew up during the time of pay-per-views, either in boxing, wrestling, hell, even today with MMA, it is something that's a once in a lifetime event to where if you didn't see it, you'd have to rely on friends, news articles, something to to always catch you up on what you have missed. That was the beauty of those pay-per-views. And that's one thing I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate what AEW is trying to do with this. They want to make it feel like you have to watch this. You have to watch either in person or online for these moments because they're not always gonna. It's not always gonna happen. I mean, sure, sometimes you'll see something recreated on television that was on pay per view, but the thing is that it's meant to be special, meaning that every matchup not only is meant to be special, but it's also if you're a wrestler, having something like being on the card on pay per view means it's kind of like a good notch in your belt for your career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's move on to the actual card, the main card. So we open up with an absolute banger for the International Championship.
Mm.
Champion Roderick Strong takes on Will Ospreay. I'm going on record right now. Will Ospreay is my favorite wrestler of all time. Every match I see him in, he delivers. Roderick Strong always delivers in ring. This match was great. What a hot start for this pay-per-view. And the Vegas crowd was so much better this year than they were last year.
I will agree. Yeah, that's one. I think I will give WWE credit. I think because they did their backlash in France, and you saw how passionate that crowd was. I think it was kind of a bit of a shock in the arm for everyone here in America because it's kind of a reminder to everyone in America. Just because I think, well, not because we have wrestling here, but we kind of get it. It's a mixture of we're kind of spoiled on
Mm-hmm.
wrestling, but we also take it for granted. So once we see it in another country that like in a foreign country that's not in America, that doesn't always get access to what we have here, and we see how
Mm-hmm.
strong and how passionate they were. It really is kind of like y'all either need to step up and show your fandom,
Yep.
or you'll lose this opportunity. It's one of the
Mm-hmm.
reasons why I do appreciate that All In, I think, might permanently be in Wembley, just as that reminder of this is here's a passionate fan base out here,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that it's a week away from All Out, which is in Chicago, which is also meant to be a vocal fan base. It's kind of like Chicago, gotta fucking step up.
Yep. Yep. I love the way this match started. Roderick Strong is doing his pose, and Ospreay wasted no time. Immediately tries to go for the hidden blade to the face, and Roderick ducks it. And we immediately kick it off, and they are like start striking each other. What a great way to start off this match, because I didn't realize the history that Strong and Ospreay had until they brought it up in the promo that they were in Ring of Honor at the same time, and Roderick always kind of like thought he was above Will Ospreay because Ospreay was coming in there as kind of a young star in Ring of Honor, and like Will Ospreay never forgot that. So I like that kind of interconnecting thread they have to Ring of Honor as well.
Exactly. it's something that I do appreciate, especially as I mean I'm a mixture of a casual fan becoming more of an intermediate wrestling fan to where I'm
Mhm.
exposing myself to other facets of wrestling, either if it's just watching on YouTube or like taking the time to actually go on Triller TV or any other site that's showing wrestling outside of America or outside of the major two companies right now of AEW and WWE.
Mhm.
It's really looking at the different wrestling stars out there, the different facets of wrestling to really appreciate it in all of its, and then having that knowledge of them, seeing them one day either on WWE or AEW. It's like I recognize them from this venture. I can't wait for everyone else to be
Yep.
introduced to this person, and having their history in Ring of Honor be mentioned is great because it shows a huge difference between the two men from where they were to where they are now. Sure, Roderick
Mhm.
Strong, yes, he was more of the top. He was one of the top dogs in ROH compared to a young Will Ospreay. But then Ospreay, in that promo he had on Rampage after he got his ass beaten and bloodied, he showed. He also remind. It's also a reminder of how far he has come from being in New Japan in Rev Pro Wrestling to the man he is. And I love the fact
Mhm.
he immediately tries to use that hidden blade because he was not waiting for Roderick to be done. And it was great, and it was great storytelling in Roderick as a veteran being able to catch that. So then when we
Yep.
do see this match, it really was a war of attrition between the two men.
Oh, definitely. Um, the one spot I absolutely cringed at. The Kingdom go
Hmm.
for a I guess it's a elevated doomsday device on the
I think so. Yeah,
outside.
I've seen that done plenty of times, not just with the Kingdom, but other
Yeah.
tag teams in different companies. Yeah, they on the
I'm
shoulder,
guessing
like a doom.
Taven I'm guessing Taven didn't really clear the rope because his
No, I
foot
saw
got caught on the
his
top
back,
rope.
his heels kind of touched the rope, which stopped his
Mhm.
momentum. And then I saw that flip from I saw that from Osprey. Man, I
And
swear, I'm
Osprey just landed right on his fucking head, man. I got so scared for a minute.
yeah. But they did a. Not, I won't say they recovered quickly from it, but it was something to where that almost would have taken some of the air out of this match. But yeah, Osprey and Strong got back on it, and Strong pretty much spent the whole match trying to keep Osprey grounded to cut off his
Mhm.
momentum. Like every time Osprey was trying to do like get some speed to start doing like some of his like his stuff, like the oh my god, the well, his midair Pele kick. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
But when
Yeah,
he
oh, his springboard kick he does.
yes, yes. At least when Osprey tries to use his speed, Roderick would use his like technical prowess to ground him.
Mhm.
But Osprey also would counter back on him, and I actually appreciated with Don Callis on commentary because he too was kind of like in a way adding a little bit to the psychology of the story where
Mhm.
Kylos was always trying to be like, oh, Osprey counters Strong, and he's always trying to go, and he counters back, going, oh, this is exactly Osprey and I. We had a plan coming in here, even though
Yeah.
it looks like Osprey, he's becoming more and more separate from the Don Callis family. It was
I love
amazing
Don
how fun.
Callis on I love Don Callis on commentary for this match,
Mm-hmm.
especially towards the end where Roderick is selling his neck and you have Callis come up and he's like, he's going to the hospital anyway. Hit the Tiger Driver. I love that they're continuing this saga of Osprey doesn't want to hit the Tiger Driver because of what happened to Danielson. And he gets fired up and he goes for it. He has him up, but he can't do it. He refuses to do it, which ends up making the Tiger Driver the ultimate death finisher when he hits it. Because once he starts not breaking it out as often, then when he does, it's going to be a game like a match ender, kind of like Randy Orton with his punt kick. He doesn't hit it often, but when it does, it's over.
Yes, and it's also great psychology into what kind of wrestler he wants to be in the ring. Like you really see, like I love the after effects how it did with Danielson really stuck with him. So
Mm-hmm.
when he's at that point to where, in a way, he has every reason to use it on Roderick. Even Don was yelling, he's gonna go to the hospital anyway. Just use
Anyways,
it on him. And honestly, I came this close to thinking he was going to use it. Then he hurt Roderick, bring back the next strong thing that Roderick did again. And then it could have been like Roderick trying to use his way to get another shot at the international title. but I like the fact he has him up in the air, just like, nope, I'm not doing it. Thought it was going to be the end, and my God, that counter from the end of Heartache to that
So
hidden
good.
woo!
So good.
It's
So
literally
good,
like
man.
you have to it's those counters and moments where you have to watch, you have to be locked in to pay attention to. Because if it's just more of like, oh, I'm just on my phone watching, oh, I'm gonna tweet Roderick didn't do the Tiger Driver, and it's like, wait, what just happened? No.
Yeah, you're gonna miss it.
Yes, this is one of these matches that demands your attention. Do not be on your phone either if you're in the crowd or if you're at home. Watch the match, and guess what? If you're watching on pay-per-view, you can't rewind it. You have to wait until the replay is available. That's why I like the fact on pay-per-view you can't. Not unlike with Peacock, you can rewind a little bit. No
Mm-hmm.
pay-per-view. No, you have to stay focused. You have to stay locked in
Yep.
until that moment was over. And then him using the Stormbreaker for to finish that match was great. Oh,
Dude.
we also forgot to mention the Undisputed Kingdom, like that, and then
Yeah.
Wardlow showing up, going to do that.
Wardlow showing up trying to powerbomb him, and then the referee catches him, and he's just like, oh, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna leave.
I know, it's kind of a comedy moment, but to me, I don't know. I felt a little bit of storytelling there because compared to Wardlow in the previous when he helped Roderick out, he was quick. He came in, did a devastating move, and then got out of the ring. And this one, he took his time. Like he was getting cocky with it. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this to Will Ospreay, and then he bumps into that ref. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into that moment there, but it does seem to me that Wardlow maybe was kind of like he's in his own way. Like I'm done with you guys, or just like
I feel like that's
building that seeds of dissension between the Undisputed Kingdom.
I don't like the fact that they're, because when the Undisputed Kingdom first became a thing, the week after you had Cole be like, yeah, and Wardlow's gonna win the world title and hand it over to me. I don't like that they did that because that immediately told me that, oh yeah, Wardlow's not gonna be in this group for that long.
No, he's not. And then of course when Kyle O'Reilly returned, everyone thought, oh, Kyle, they're gonna do a bait and switch to where Kyle, like after Dynasty, Kyle's gonna, attack Wardlow, and then he's officially in the group, and Wardlow's kicked out since he had lost to Samoa Joe. But they didn't do that. Kyle still remained like he's still on the face side. And then with Adam Cole back, not officially back, but healed. Not 100% healed, but he's walking now. And then, of course, that look he gave to Wardlow at Dynasty to where, they're still teasing that out. But after the match is over, everyone leaves that ring. And then what happens next? We hear it's all about the boom with Adam Cole coming back.
By the way, hold on. All right, so before we get there, somebody in the crowd was dressed as Jesus, and I love the fact that Ospreay immediately noticed him, and it was like, yes!
Like, I've met that guy.
Have you?
Yes, I have. Actually, awesome. I've told you a couple of times. I've been on the Jericho cruise. That guy has been on every Jericho cruise. And
wow.
He's not only shown up at AEW shows, he was also at a couple of NXT shows, and I think maybe some WWE shows. But specifically, he's mainly been seen on AEW shows, which is amazing. That guy's awesome. He's a great fan, and that is someone who has stuck with the gimmick that he had that he got dressed up as Jesus.
Yeah. All right. So yes, as you said, after this match, we do hear it's all about the boom. Adam Cole comes out, which I noticed. I noticed something. I was like, it's weird that he would come out to his music and not the Undisputed Kingdom's music.
Well, the Kingdom did lose, and then if the crowd had heard the song play again, it would have thrown out some confusion. I think this was needed to tell you, oh no, this isn't Kingdom. This is Adam Cole showing up. I understand. Yeah. It is a good, valid point to make, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think this was the company saying, no, the Kingdom's not coming back out here to whine and complain of losing. No, this is Adam Cole coming out here.
Yeah. And then it's like the crowd knew what was gonna happen. So Cole comes out.
Not until he pulled out something. But yeah, they were all excited to be him. And then I just love the fact after he said, who's ready for story time with Adam Cole, baby, and then he just immediately goes into insulting the people.
He's like Las Vegas is what Las Vegas sucks or something like that. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's like being here in Las Vegas. I think he said it reminds me why you people suck.
Dude, Adam Cole is someone who can work great as a face or a heel, but when he's a heel, he's a slimy fucking heel.
Yes, he is.
So yeah, he says that he breaks out the devil's mask, and then you just hear the crowd chanting MJF.
They
and
got
then,
so loud that he had to shout, which is amazing.
Yes. And then we have this beautiful video package of it's a point of view shot of somebody going through a house, and then you see like MJF his scarf. By the way, Nightmare Family coat in the background.
Yeah,
I love that.
Not only that, but I also loved it was one of his. It was like his room of treasures he has.
Yeah.
Not just the ring.
If you notice, it's like different the different evolutions of MJF. So you have the Nightmare Family.
Him in AEW.
Mm-hmm. So you have the Nightmare Family stuff, which was his beginning. Then you have the scarf and the suits. That's his heel thing. Then he has the picture of him and MJF together, or him and Adam Cole together, and then he puts it together, and that's his third evolution. So yeah, that photos comes together, and I love the orchestra version of MJF's song playing in the background. His theme.
How he's played that every time when he was doing the devil thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, MJF returns wearing the a version of the Triple H 2002 Madison Square Garden jacket, which I fucking love. Dude, he looks in incredible shape.
It's amazing. There's a few other things I wanted to mention, like I had down my notes. Not only in MJF's room, he had a few things that also significant. Not just the Nightmare Family jacket, but he also the dog collar from his dog collar match. I think I couldn't tell on the top if it was a tank or if it was a glass of champagne or something. But I remember he used that in a match or something. Fuck. There was a lot of memorabilia in there.
No. The champagne one is his that Jericho, him and Jericho
Dinner Debonair.
Yes.
There was a lot in there, but like I really loved how he like in every room, like even the room itself, it was like he's taking his time and looking at everything. No, the dinner jacket in the back, that was Dinner Debonair. I think that's a tank or something. I honestly I need to find somewhere in MJF's catalog what that represented. But even then, it was fantastic. Like, yes, and I thought it was just gonna end there, like saying like he's coming back, and then that little pause, and then when his music played, not only of the jacket, but even Adam Cole, how he was selling it. He's like
Cole underneath his breath, and you could hear he was like, "Holy shit!"
Like he looked like he was about like he like frozen in place. How he just came down to the ring, like he just realized, oh no, I'm not ready for this.
I'm all by myself.
Yeah.
By the way, I wholeheartedly disagree with so many people who are saying that MJF shouldn't have did this 8-minute promo. He has been gone for 6 months. Give him this time on pay-per-view.
No matter how long he's gone, this is MJF at his freaking core. He's going to milk every moment in that ring until he is done. And even then, the way he cuts this promo, he is captivating people in the ring. Even before that promo, I loved how he goes in that ring. Adam Cole really playing
he's trying to get him a hug.
Yeah. At first, he's kind of like, how dare you? You're not supposed to be here. He's like, no, wait, listen to me. I can explain myself. Let's just hug this out. And man, just like, I loved it. Like, he's going in there. I thought MJF was going to maybe punch him in the face, but nah.
This is so much better.
Just the slow walk, like even when you watch it, that slow push back on his leg, and then whoo, that low blow, like so sick.
Cole's selling of that was incredible, and MJF's like smirk was even better.
Oh my god.
So MJF grabs the mic after that. He goes, Adam Cole, you, what do you say? You bobble-headed. Oh, man.
Oh god, hold on. I didn't really take a note on that. Give me a second.
Something bobble-headed bitch.
Yeah, he did say something calling him bobble-headed, but fucking hell.
I
but
had the actual the actual thing. Oh, you noodle-armed bobble-headed son of a bitch.
yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good. So he says, somebody come and scrape the shit stain out of my ring.
Yeah. Like this is, I mean, the promo is fantastic. It's pretty much MJ. I mean, in all the simplicity, this is just MJF saying, I'm shedding everything of what I was last year. I'm going back to what served me best.
Mm-hmm.
Being the guy that you love to hate, being the guy who will use every opportunity to be on top and be number one. I do admit, I was really into MJF as a face, like especially that turnaround.
I think he's still a face, but I think because if you notice, he never went after the crowd, and when he did, he called him fucking marks. And he goes, no offense.
Yeah.
So he's playing with the crowd.
No, but I understand that. But it's just more of like that earlier part of MJF. Yes, the crowd loved him when he would be the heel, but I liked how he was kind of be like, I'm gonna be a lovable dick to you guys. So
I think we'll still get that.
well, I know, but I don't know. It's hard for me to really explain and put it to words of what about last year of MJF I enjoyed to which maybe people did not like. It was a full, like, the fact when he says his promo, when he says Cole made me realize something, I gave him trust, I'm not doing that again.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's like, yes, he's on everyone's side, but that means he's back to being the snake. And at that point, he could easily.
I actually have a theory. Sorry for interrupting you, but I actually have a theory that they're going to go. Here's what AEW should do with MJF. They should put him up against the Elite. Not as the savior of AEW, but as I do not care about the fucking establishment. We know that MJF does not care. He'll go off script on Tony Khan. Why wouldn't he do that against the Bucks? And the Bucks could take offense to that and start sending people after MJF, almost make him like Stone Cold in a way, where like he doesn't care who he offends. He's gonna take out everybody.
Well, that is a good one. That is a good thought. It's just like I enjoyed the promo, but to me it was just more of like, I get it. MJF's gonna go back to the thing that made him this hot act, that made him on top.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I kind of would have liked to see MJF do more, like invest in this. Show other degrees. Show some complexity in his character. That's it, complexity. That's what I liked about him last year. You do see that he was shedding. Like, I mean, it's some of the best promos he's had against William Regal, CM Punk. He would always do the whole cut deep and talk about his past, like trying to open himself up. But then it was nothing but just more of like a swerve in your face to where he gets the better of you. What I was enjoying last year was that it wasn't like he wasn't trying to undercut. He wasn't trying to cut the legs from anybody else. He really was like, you want to see this vulnerable side of me? Well, here it is. Here's my vulnerable side. It's one of the things I kind of liked. Like, even when Adam Cole was gone, when they substituted the Acclaim in there, showing the shared history between him and Max Caster, I'm like, you know what? I like that. Maybe we can try to do something like that again with MJF. And then, of course, he had gotten himself hurt after Worlds. I mean, well, his injury from Worlds End finally caught up with him. He was off TV for a while. I don't know. I mean, look, I'm jumping the gun most likely here. I'm glad he's back. It's just like right now what we have here in this scene. Well, you know what? I'm going to hold my tongue right now. Let's just move on. I think I will hold my tongue on what will become of MJF in the future moving forward. Maybe this is the beginning of him tearing down the Undisputed Kingdom. And
that's where I think they're going. I do love the fact that MJF takes the devil's mask and he's like, people who wear masks are, they use it to hide. I'm done fucking hiding, and he throws a mask on the ground.
Yeah, does the Ric Flair elbow drop
Ric
on
Flair
him?
elbow drop, dude. My favorite line in the entire promo. Unlike these smucks in the back, I didn't need a New Japan and I didn't need a Vince McMahon because MJF made MJF.
Yeah. And that's his career. He truly did bet on himself. I mean, everyone's just
Dude,
gonna
is that
go.
tattoo real?
I think. I didn't watch. I don't know. Was he in the media scrum? No, I don't think he was. Um,
Because if that tattoo is real, then that says a lot to tattoo your body with AEW.
I mean, yeah, the tattoo can easily be changed to where you can get rid of the AEW part. But even then, that's showing him the loyalty and
Mm-hmm.
how he cemented himself as a foundation for AEW. I do appreciate when wrestlers really do want to do something like that to make a statement. I'm hoping nothing from now and maybe another 3 to 4 years does not change that for MJF. But even then, if he still stays in that company, he's like someone who can find new ways of reinventing himself, making himself even more like adored to the crowd, really cementing himself as a pillar
Mm-hmm.
in AEW. So,
I
uh,
I don't think MJF. I think he's gonna be a tweener, which is perfect where he needs to be
mhm.
because you can play around with it. I don't think he's gonna go back to his heel thing where he made fun of the fans or everything like that. That would be kind of
It
counteractive.
really depends. It really depends on where he falls. Like because the thing with the crowd, they're very chaotic. You might have them eating out of your palm or being all aligned with you in one moment, but then of course, like everything in wrestling, something happens that they don't seem to like. It's like a wave, literally. It's MJF at this point is just like every other wrestler. They are just trying to find a way to stay ahead of ride the wave and stay ahead of the chaotic energy the crowd gives them.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to go back to insulting the crowd and things like that. I think what he may do is take that vitriol and the great promo skills, and instead of focusing on the crowd and faces, focus that on the heels. Focus that on his great promos to building stories, which he's good at, but do that against the heels, and he is a neutral tweener that the fans can get behind.
Well, time will tell. I didn't want to get too ahead of myself with that. It was just
I
something.
love the line where he channeled Jordan Belfort, where he said, "You can call me the Wolf of Wrestling."
Oh, I honestly just thought he did that because if you take the initials Wolf of Wrestling, it just says wow. I'm the wow factor of AEW. Every time you see me in the ring, it's wow, wow, wow. I don't know if he'll do something like that. It's just too cheesy. Maybe he'll make it work. But I did get that, the Wolf of Wrestling. But I think honestly, we spent so much time on MJF. Oh, although I diverted so much time on the MJF, we should definitely move on to the next match, which I believe was the
One more thing, sorry about this. This was kind of a really good promo, though. He does bring up the bidding war of 2024. He says, if you guys haven't figured it out,
that's when
yeah,
he insulted them. Yeah.
yeah. Well, he kind of insulted him. He was like, no offense, which I love when he does that. He fucks with the crowd and he's like, yeah, no offense, guys, you fucking marks.
But at the same time, it's kind of necessary because let's be honest, with social media, everyone thinks they're a fucking mark.
Yeah, yeah. And
Not
then
not excluding the two of us. Hell, we have been on that train to where we've been
mm-hmm.
hoodwinked and bamboozled. Okay.
has he mentioned a legend and then said rest in peace when he said bet on yourself.
Yeah.
Was that the Iron Sheik?
I don't know, honestly. I didn't really dig too much into it or listen to many wrestling pundits to find out
Mm-hmm.
about that. Maybe I'll look at some wrestling YouTubes and see what if they figured out what he was talking about.
Yeah. And yeah, he shows his. I'm guessing it's a real tattoo that is the poker chips and says "Bet on yourself" with AEW.
But we'll find out when he wrestles again, and we see him when he's in
Yep,
those trunks. If that tattoo's there, then it was real.
dude. I have kept telling people this that MJF probably signed back at last year's Double or Nothing. Um,
I was pretty sure
yeah,
he re-signed like at All In after he made that
Yeah.
Now after he main event that first pay-per-view.
hmm So that could be it. But I could see MJF being at AEW for a long time. He feels like someone who, I'm not gonna say lifer because
No,
he's still so young, but he could be like the mainstay for AEW for a very long time.
well, it really depends. Like anyone can stay at a company for a long time, but it depends on really what happens. Something
hmm
big could change their minds. Because hell, I've seen. Unfortunately, look, as much as I'm a big fan of AEW has. I'm not gonna say drop the ball, but they are fumble, but they have messed up a couple of times with wrestlers to where they've alienated them to where they will not see themselves going back. Some wrestlers kind of sabotage themselves. Other wrestlers have strong points against the curtain of AEW, and Tony Khan, unfortunately, reacted terribly to it.
hmm
But there are some times, just like with WWE and like TNA, there are some times when wrestlers make certain criticisms or statements about their time. Management can't help but try overcorrect and say, "Oh no, it's not us, it's them," and then you just
hmm
end up making more of the argument. No, it's fucking you guys. It's you guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like because AEW has done such a great job with MJF, like letting him be MJF and being who he wants to be. I know a lot of people want to see him in WWE. I personally don't, and not because I hate them, just because I know if he goes to WWE, he's going to be one, lost in the shuffle, and two, he's not going to get the creative freedom that he gets in AEW, where he gets to go out, he gets to say whatever he wants, he gets to
Well, one
make
of the
these.
downsides, look, as much as WWE likes to do these partnership deals, when it comes with their promos and everything, it's all has to be watered down for
Mhm.
kids and families. I mean, AEW understands there's families and kids watching their product, but they understand that sometimes wrestlers just need to let some shit out.
Yeah.
And if kids are and if families are going to argue about this, well, guess what? You've openly let your kids watch a program where people get physically hurt and
hmm
verbal stuff is bothering you. You need to reevaluate those choices. I
Yeah.
think we should move on to the next match.
Yeah.
It's more, even though it wasn't a great match, it was still an entertaining match, which was the triple threat.
I actually really enjoyed this match.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's entertaining. Yeah, I was saying it was entertaining. The For the World triple threat match.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. The next match is the trios titles.
I thought For the World. Oh no, it's middle in the card. Okay, it was in the
hmm
middle. Okay, yeah, the trios match. That was a fan. I definitely enjoyed that.
Yeah, so it's the champions, the Bang Bang Gang, taking on Death Triangle. Um, by the way, I love this match. This match was fantastic. Ray Phoenix looks in great shape, by the way.
He is. I was kind of laughing my ass off because I came across one commenter going, "Wait, I thought Ray was so jacked when he showed up on Dynamite." I'm like, "That wasn't jacked. That's just lighting. He's in great
Yeah,
shape.
yeah,
He's in great shape." But that shot of him and the return of Dynamite, that was just how the lighting worked, where it was highlighting his physique and at least what parts of his body he was flexing.
yeah. Um, I love that. Death Triangle had the matching gear with each other. Um, the in-ring work was really good. I think the Gun Club, the Guns are getting so much better, and I think putting them with Jay White was a great idea because it enhances not their characters but their in-ring work as well.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the fact that you have two trios who really do trios wrestling really well. They will do triple team moves with each other, and they all look great. Me and my brother have this thing where when Ray Phoenix comes out, we're like, even when he botches, he doesn't botch.
No, yeah. He messes up on a plancha, or when it comes with this corkscrew dive, that he can always easily recover and do something
Mm-hmm.
amazing that'll make you forget that quick screw up.
Yep. And I've always said I think Ray Phoenix is the next Rey Mysterio.
I mean, I think in a way he's kind of surpassed. He's definitely different than Rey Mysterio. Like he really is his own wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the way that he's so athletic in the ring, it's just to me like, yeah, this man. I look back when he was given that international title. I really thought to myself, man, they really did make a mistake putting it immediately back on Cassidy. Actually let Ray have a run
That
with
was
it.
because Phoenix got injured.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes,
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, I forgot about
they
that.
yeah. So Moxley got injured in the match with Phoenix.
Yes,
Then
no, I
Phoenix
remember
got
that part. And
injured,
then he hurt it. Then Phoenix got his shoulder really
shoulder
messed up.
hurt. Yep,
Yeah,
and then they had to put it back on Cassidy because of that.
yeah. So, but even then, I'm still thinking to myself, man, you know what? Let's give let's give Phoenix a run with a championship. And I have an idea about that, but we will address that later.
I love the fact that Juice Robinson is back.
Oh yeah, him back.
I
I'll be honest.
fucking love Juice.
I'll be honest. I was not really that hard into Bullet Club Gold, but Juice Robinson's manic energy and
You
the
are
way he
rock
was,
hard, Juice Robinson.
yeah, Rock Hard Juice Robinson, or when he was with the Guns with Card Blade, and then it was like only Juice Robinson made the cardboard of Jay White that over, because when they tried doing that with Juice Robinson, it wasn't working.
With Jay White, you mean?
Huh?
You said when they tried that with Juice Robinson, it didn't work. So I think you meant Jay White.
No. When Juice Robinson had the card blade, it was fantastic. But then they did the same thing with Juice Robinson, the cardboard cut of Juice Robinson when he was hurt.
Okay.
It wasn't working because despite Jay White, he's trying to be more like hang back with the Guns. His energy just doesn't match them on most occasions. Jay White is simply he's meant to be the killer of the group. So when you have him trying to do things like, oh my god, I'll admit that promo he had on Dynamite, man, where he was pausing so much and moving around manic so much, like that one failed him. That was like one of his weakest promos. And then with Juice Robinson back, it to me that feels like, okay, that's fresh energy back into the Bang Bang Gang. As much as Jay White is doing well with trios, I think it's time for maybe Jay White to take some time away and have Juice Robinson join in. But if that's not the case, I would actually enjoy Juice Robinson still being, of course, part of the Bang Bang Gang, but maybe doing a singles run.
So that's where I'm going with this. I think the best thing for them to do, because they were going with this trio before Juice Robinson got injured.
Yes, that is true. Yeah.
Just have them do the trios thing as the
I guess Freebird style.
Freebird rules. Yeah, where it's Austin, Colton, and Juice defending the trios titles, and you put Jay White in the TNT title picture, the international title picture. You put him in a singles title picture. Dude, him and Will Ospreay going one-on-one with the shared history they have in New Japan, that could be a banger of a match. Book that
Juice
for all
also
in.
has shared history with Jay White. Juice also has shared history with Ospreay as well. So I can see Juice maybe trying to go after. I can see Juice going after Will Ospreay for a bit, and then it could switch up to Jay. Because I remember when Ospreay got the the New Japan US title, it was during the time when Juice had stolen it from him and was kind of like parading it around before he got it back. So they can.
So my idea is you have Juice Robinson and the Guns defend the titles under the trios division, and then you put Jay White in one of the mid-card title divisions, and that way you're elevating Jay White to a singles title picture, which I think he needs, and you have a really good trios with Juice Robinson and the Guns, which they were going to do that anyway before Juice got injured.
I think Jay needs to have some feuds, some big match feuds right now. I don't think inserting him into a title picture, honestly, it's just gonna make the discourse around him and his time in AEW even more negative. I think if we put Jay White into some single match like feuds, like since Death Triangle lost, we can set up Pac versus Jay White either at Forbidden Door, or it can be during their Fighter Fest or Fight for the Fallen like one-offs. Like really build up to where Pac and Jay White can have a singles match against each other, and then build once again with Bang Bang Gang defending the trios.
I have an idea.
At All In.
I have an idea. If you want to book Jay White as kind of a face in a way, put him up against Okada for the Continental title. They have a history. Jay White, every time him and Okada have been in the ring, Jay White has beaten Okada in New Japan. You have that story of, well, every time I get in the ring with Okada, I beat him. You think you're big and bad with the Elite by your side, get in the ring with me again, and I'll take that title from you. This time, no outside interference. No Bang Bang Gang, no Elite. See what happens.
Maybe I think that program should work after All In when the Bang Bang Gang no longer have the trios belts.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's until four then. But right now, regarding this matchup, one of the things I did enjoy, like you do talk about how they do trios well, and one of the things that was used on Zero Hour, talking the difference between Bang Bang Gang and Death Triangle, with that Death Triangle, they haven't been a trio in a while, while Bang Bang Gang, they've been continuing,
Mm-hmm.
they've been on a constant run as a trio. So one of the storylines going in there was, can Death Triangle work as a unit? Which clearly they can.
Yeah.
And I even love that Impact, like in his energy throughout the match, his main focus was trying to hit, even though he was taking down Colton and Austin, his main focus was straight at Jay White, while Penta and Phoenix handled would trade off with the guns, or they would trade off with Jay White every now and then. Jay, he was doing his best to only tag in at moments where he can capitalize, which works for him being the leader and wanting to save his energy, and the fact that he's the one who gets the final pin, which works.
Yeah.
But I do see with this opportunity, I do see another rematch between the trios down the road. Again, it's going to happen. And hopefully...
Do you think that could happen at Forbidden Door?
Honestly, from some of the discourse I'm hearing with New Japan being involved, I think I see Bang Bang Gang going up against... I've been hearing Bang 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 may go up against War Dogs, which it was the former Bullet Club faction, now rebranded.
Ooh. Wait, isn't Alex Coughlin retired?
No. War Dogs is Chase Owens, who took over leadership of the Bullet Club. Where he kicked out Jay White.
Wait, Chase Owens? I thought David Finlay was the leader.
I'm sorry, I have not been paying. I know it's David Finlay, but
I was so confused. I was like, when did Chase Owens kick out David Finlay?
I'm sorry, I mixed those guys up. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
But no, Bullet Club War Dogs. It's David Finlay,
Gabriel Kidd.
Hold on, fuck.
Evil's under House of Torture.
Yes, sorry, man. I'm trying to go on New Japan to take a look at the members.
The Bullet Club situation in New Japan is so fucking weird.
It really is.
And then you have like they're off. Like they're in TNA, you have ABC, Ace Austin, and Chris
they're
Bay.
no longer Bullet Club now; they're their own thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. Yeah, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, they became their own thing now.
Okay. So
because I've watched one of their tag matches, they don't come out to the Bullet Club music anymore.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. There was an episode of Survival Series on Parts of Unknown that had the Bullet Club members on there. It was like Alex Coughlin, Gabriel Kidd, David Finlay, Clark Connors.
Yeah.
And one more.
War Dogs.
We're wasting too much time on this.
Oh, they have Gato. They have Gabe Kidd, I believe. No, let's see.
Gabe Kidd.
Clark Connors is on there. Gabe Kidd, Gato. Well, I think. I mean, he may have walked away from them. Jake Lee. I don't know if Kenta's still part of them. And Ishimori. Yeah, Ishimori. Okay.
Yeah, Taiji Ishimori, right?
Yes, Taiji Ishimori.
Mm.
But no, from what I've been hearing, though, that at least what I have been seeing across on certain formats, fans speculating that we could see Bullet Club War Dogs versus the Bang Bang Gang, maybe as a way to finish up some bad. Because when Jay White's contract ended in New Japan, David Finlay was the one to kick his ass out. So Jay White could possibly be like, I had some unfinished business with you.
That would be awesome. And I'm also hearing, I don't know if this rumor is true or if they're going to wait for an actual New
Okay,
Japan
Dave Finley,
show.
Gabe Kidd, Alex Coughlin, Maloney, and Clark Connors. Okay.
Yeah. Driller Maloney's the other one, yeah.
Drilla, yeah, I could not say that name.
I have also heard, and I don't know if this match has been announced for a New Japan show or not, but Jon Moxley is going to defend the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Evil.
Yeah,
That could be a forbidden door.
on June 9th, which...
Oh, okay.
No, that's going to be on June 9th. I think it's New Japan Resurgence.
Okay.
So that's going to lead into some of my thoughts on one of the other matches that we're going to talk about. But as far as this match goes, this is a good trios champion. This was a good trios match. It got Death Triangle back in the conversation. It's definitely extending the storyline of Pac's issues with Jay White and the Bang Bang Gang, especially since Juice had interfered. That's definitely not over yet. So it seems to me Death Triangle is most likely going to be feuding with them for a while until they can find someone to, be their equalizer, to be that fourth man.
Mm-hmm.
And then we might see an opportunity to where Bang Bang Gang and Death Triangle for the Trios Championship again, either padded out in between now and All In. Because honestly, I think Tony Khan has a new trio he's going to build to take those belts away from Bang Bang Gang.
Okay.
And I will share my thoughts in later on as we continue on. But as far as this match goes, this was a very entertaining match.
All right, let's move on. This is a match, sad to say, I watched a little bit of it, but I did get distracted. I may have to go back and rewatch it. But AEW Women's World Championship match, Timeless Toni Storm versus Serena Deeb. You may have this more fresh in your mind, so if you want to go ahead and take this one over, that'll be completely fine with me.
Well, one thing I will say, it is very clear. Toni Storm is not only over, she is very over. She is like, I won't say rock star over at this point, but she is.
She might be.
Well, she's not there just yet. She's at that point to where on Dynamite, when she had that match, when she and Mariah went up against Harley and Saraya, they came out from the face tunnel and they were cheered on his faces. Toni Storm, even though came back out through the heel tunnel, it is clear the crowd is behind Toni Storm. Toni Storm really has found her voice in this gimmick. She really has found something there. And to me, I'm not sure if it's still shown that way in her wrestling in style, because it's really hard, because seeing some of her matches in early stardom in NXT, like Toni Storm, NXT UK, Toni Storm is a pound for pound good wrestler. It's just one of those situations where she really is trying to live the gimmick in the ring. But against someone like Serena Deeb, I will say Serena, despite some of the on and off stuff they've done with her, at least between now and this build, they really were trying to build her as a sympathetic figure. But it was just because Toni was just so charismatic and captivating. She did eclipse Serena, at least in the promo department. But I loved in this match, they were showing Serena being very methodical, being very surgical, being very like a surgeon taking apart Toni Storm in that ring, to where the crowd was so behind her. So whenever Serena did certain moves that normally got her pops in matches, like the not the Serenity Lock, the Passion Lock.
Are you talking about the?
When she ties their opponents down and has them like their legs underneath
the Paradise.
Paradise Lock, yes. The Paradise Lock really wasn't getting that. When she had Toni in the Paradise Lock, not as loud as a pop as it was when she did on Mariah and Anna Jay. It's really clear. I mean, this is just one of those matches to where even though Serena is the face, the crowd, that chaotic element, as I mentioned, was solely behind Toni, and all Serena can do is just keep wrestling. But she did have some vocal supporters out there. I was hearing some people supporting Serena. It's just one of those situations where you have the charismatic force that Toni has become building this gimmick. But even then, Toni was most likely always almost like on the underdog sense, always trying to come back, trying to get the upper hand on Serena, but Serena kept on dominating her. There are moments where she did have those moments of hope, which was smashed away. There was, and of course, moving on the match, there was that highlight where Serena gets her in the single leg, and then Toni was no, it wasn't just a single leg. Well, no, a single leg crab, and Tony
Mhm.
literally had to pull herself to where she had to bite the rope in order to get the
That's
rope
so
free.
good.
And then when she did, and when she got her in a lock again, I love that teasing moment outside where Mariah wanted to throw in that towel, but Luther's like, "No, you're not doing
Just
it,
like Tony did for
Mariah."
Mariah.
Which cinched in Serena becoming number one contender,
Mhm.
which was kind of good. And in a way, it can work. It can work, and it can be very multifaceted in how they want to push this and how it affects their relationship moving
Mhm.
forward. But
Yeah,
I do like
I love that Tony like caught Luther with the towel.
I mean, she saw Luther holding the towel, so she definitely jumped to the conclusion that Luther was going to throw it in. And I
Mhm.
like that she's like, "You bastard!" Like
Oh, dude,
Luther is just taking
I
so much
love.
mental abuse from Tony, especially with
Oh my God,
Mariah
it's
getting
so
go
funny.
close. Like it's
It's
very
so funny.
hilarious. Like the moment they do split her and Mariah apart, Luther's going to like back in the picture as the butler.
I have a theory, and since we're on this match and talking about Mariah anyway, I told you this in the chat. I have a feeling that they're gonna let Mariah May win the Owen tournament. And what I would do is, since Time with Tony Storm is so over,
Mhm.
I would then turn Mariah heel and have her be almost like, I'm gonna be better than my idol, and that leads to them at All In.
It honestly can go either way. I mean, Mariah could be the one to win. I wanted to allude this because I want to hold out hope until tomorrow, until the brackets are announced.
Mm-hmm.
But since she didn't return, she didn't make a return at Double or Nothing. I am still holding out the hope that Jamie Hayter is going to return and be inserted into the Owen Hart tournament. And I want to see her win, have her go on to challenge Tony Storm, maybe take the title, and then we can start doing the fallout to where Tony either is going to like become obsessive to getting that championship back to where she either ignores
Mm-hmm.
Mariah, or when Mariah tries to challenge, Tony gets possessive and just is like, no, I want that championship. It belongs to me, you know. But that's why, in a way, I think it's one. I don't want to contradict you. I think Mariah will
Oh
be
yeah.
very good as a heel. It's just that she kind of has that great little puppy dog look to where I think she could be a good baby face.
I
But then
mean,
at the same
she
time,
definitely works with both.
yeah, but then Stardom with her being a part of Club Venus with her friend with the relationship she has with Mina,
Mhm.
she can also play the bitchy heel very
Yeah.
well. So Mariah is someone who can play both. Uh I just think for me with the storyline, I mean, look, if Tony is so over to where they have to turn her face, then yes, Mariah, it is inevitable. Mariah has to be the heel in this situation. If Jamie doesn't return for the Owen Hart tournament, then yes, Mariah is is honestly she's the only option for All In
Yeah.
because right? I mean, you didn't see 0 Hour, but Thunder Rosa and Deanna had a very good back and forth between the two of them.
Mhm.
Deanna won that match through a dusty finish, so that feud is not over. That feud between Thunder and Deanna is not over, and we will allude to the TBS title sooner or later. But I think there's something in the TBS Championship where certain players are not done with that title just yet,
Mhm.
or even if they do try to move on for bigger titles, it's not in the cards for them. So by process of elimination, Mariah is the only choice unless
Mhm.
AEW is able to build up another star to
You
eclipse
could do that through a tournament, though. That's a good way to build a new star through a tournament.
without a doubt. And there are plenty of women who can be built in that way. Um,
Mhm. I mean, hell,
if Tony
Willow
is going to
was
be made a
made
face,
in.
oh, I'm just gonna say if Tony is gonna be made into a face, I can
Mhm.
see some women who are heels can be put in that situation to go and all in. I mean, if they want to hold off on turning Mariah heel, Nyla Rose, she is somebody who has been there with them
Yeah.
day one. And she is a monster heel to where you can put her as a monster against Tony Storm for the London crowd to be behind. So then they're
Mhm.
not split between Tony and Mariah. They can be full force behind Tony Storm in that match.
That's a good point. I'm just saying, like, if Tony Storm is so over, and again, I'm not trying to
We don't want to
contradict
contradict
what you're
each other, but
saying.
that's the thing with us. We have different opinions.
Yeah, but the way I'm thinking of it is, I know it would be cool for Jamie Hayter to come back and get her rematch, but then you're splitting up the crowd again in London. Both of them, like, you're not going to make Jamie Hayter, who just came back from injury, the heel, and you're not going to make Tony Storm the heel. So
They also
this
have
way,
unfinished business between the two of them. I guess with
they
Mariah,
do.
I'm sorry. I guess the thing with Mariah is the fact that they have been slowly been working with her, having her immediately be switching that. It feels to me it kind of undercuts the storytelling they do. But I
You
do
could
see
have
the point.
Mina. You could have Mina like influence Mariah because they're already teasing that Mina wants that
I hear
Mina
that.
wants that Mina wants the attention
Oh, Mariah,
of
yeah.
Mariah. So you use that and their history as like a catalyst of like what, like have Mina be like, why are you background to Tony Storm? You should be the champion. She can plant the seeds of doubt, and then Mariah turns on her, joins Mina, and then that leads to her winning the tournament, going into All In. Even if she wins the tournament, and then Tony is still under the idea that like, oh, we're gonna have a good match, like it's gonna be back and forth, and then Mina cost Tony Storm the title in London. That's a great way
And
to
he did
make.
say that it's going to culminate in Calgary. When are they in Calgary? No, keep going. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, but even if you have like where everyone thinks that's going to be face versus face, Tony Storm
July
versus
10th.
Mariah May, July 10th. Okay.
Okay, so that's good actually. They can dedicate. It's the end of May. Yeah, the entire month of June can really be dedicated to that tournament.
Yep. But even if everyone thinks it's going to be a fair fight between the two of them in All In, you then have Mina come out and cost Tony Storm the title to help her friend, and you turn Mariah heel. Then you have Jamie Hayter come back when she's healed. She's like, I don't like the fact, like, I have unfinished business with Tony Storm myself, but you had no right to do that to your friend. And then you have Mariah May versus Jamie Hayter for the title, leading into something like an all out or not all out, but a full gear.
Full Gear or maybe Wrestle Dream,
Yeah. That's why you could definitely do it as well.
But yeah, most of these thoughts aside, I'm gonna wrap this up. I do appreciate them when Serena tries to like go. The one thing I did like that we do see in some of these matches when it gets so heated that the wrestlers do something that's normally out of their comfort style. We saw with Serena, she tries to go to the top rope. That ends up being her downfall to where Tony Storm does that top rope Storm Zero, and then follows up with another Storm Zero just as a double tap to make sure Serena does not get up. That
was a great spot.
Not only a great spot, but it's also very smart as a wrestler to do it a second time, because it could have been like, oh yeah, top rope Storm Zero, 1, 2, she kicks out. Tony Storm's like, no, another Storm Zero. No, having them back to back is a way to take the wind out of her so she wouldn't kick out.
Yeah.
And then Tony Storm wins, and then I like how she celebrates. She just falls onto the stage with the confetti around her. Like
so good.
And then just Mariah just landing like right next to her, embracing her in her bosom.
It's so good. All right, you ready to move on to the next match?
Yeah, we're an hour in and we just covered 3 matches. Let's keep going.
Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta. Yeah, we're gonna kind of speed through some of these matches. I thought this match was really good. I don't know if I would have it. I don't know. I was about to say I don't know if I would have this on this card, but the idea of the best friends.
In a way, this could have felt like it was on Dynamite, but then also with the weeks that's been building up here, in a way, this feels like this should be here because we do see 2 things. One, Trent Beretta, ever since his turn, has been like, Cassidy is selfish. He's sociopathic. Does not care about anyone. I gave 5 years into this relationship, and Cassidy's giving me nothing, and he's giving me nothing back. I mean, he could even use moments to where, like when Cassie became international champion again, he ignored us. He was so obsessed, and when he lost that title, instead of rallying behind us, he became obsessed with getting that championship back
Mm-hmm.
again. And when he got it back, he became even more withdrawn into himself, and he keeps risking himself. He keeps ignoring us. Like things that was missed, the missed moments of Trent justifying himself as a heel was truly missed here. It was all about just Cassie's selfish, to where if you look at Orange's run with the international title, from a positive standpoint, you can be like, this is Cassie cementing the title, showing what kind of champion he is. But from
Mm-hmm.
someone from Trent's perspective, he really could have painted a different picture to make everyone think like, yeah, Cassidy was putting himself up for so much
Mm-hmm.
unnecessary harm. He just let anyone challenge him. He let anyone who even just said 2 words, he gave him a championship. Hell, he made me fight him when I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I think with Trent and Orange, I will say the lack of build, or the quick build, was one of the downsides of it, to where this
Mm-hmm.
honestly should not have been on pay-per-view. This could have been saved for another Dynamite.
I will say, thinking about it now, and someone did bring this up in one of the comments I was watching, it does make sense to have this match at Double or Nothing, because the best friends
That's right, yes.
and Orange Cassidy were on the first Double or Nothing.
Yes, not just in the bout. Yeah, they're in the bout world, and Cassidy shows up, but then, yeah, it's like, yeah, the longest they've been, like they were there from day one. So yeah, it's a back and forth pull here, to where I'm like, this
Mm-hmm.
could have been like for a much juicier, longer build on a Dynamite, but then yes, it's Double or Nothing. They were there from day one. Even on 0 Hour, they've mentioned this as well. The fact that they were from day.
I also feel like, now I know a lot of people say that there shouldn't be any more stipulations, but with something like this, it feels like there could have been some sort of stipulation. Maybe not a hardcore stipulation, but maybe like a 2 out of 3 falls, or
Well, I
maybe.
think this was the stipulation, just a simple wrestling match. That's what Trent wanted
Mm-hmm.
to prove, because when Cassidy beat him, Trent tried to use dirty, but Cassidy kind of just did the same thing Trent did, but he was the one who
Mm-hmm.
didn't get caught and it ate at Trent. So I like the fact this was a simple wrestling match, because then we are seeing Cassidy simply out wrestle and outmatch Trent, to where Trent has
Mm-hmm.
nothing to fall back on. And once again, just like with Ospreay, we have Don Callis on commentary right there, really
I
alluding the relation,
I
like he's been reaching out to Cassidy. And
I
even
really hope that
Cassidy's attire reflected a little change in his attitude. It's
the
not the
black
light,
shirt.
not just the black shirt, but his jean attire. Like normally he comes out, it's washed out or it's a little
Mm-hmm.
lighter. This one was like a not a full dark, but it was a darker shade of denim jeans.
Yeah. He also came out to June again by the Pixies, which is fucking awesome.
You mean Where's My Mind?
Yeah, Where's My Mind? Sorry, by the
Yeah.
Pixies. Which I love that song. I love that theme song for him. It works so
Yeah.
well. I really
And
hope they don't
one thing
put
before
Orange
we got
Cassidy.
Where's My Mind again, I still love that on his Titantron, it's always like just different words reflecting his mental state. It was just more of like, I'm going to punch Trent in the
In
face.
the face.
And then it stops, then Where's My Mind plays. Like, this is Cassidy with the mind games on Trent. And then
So
it
it's so
happened
funny.
again with his hands in his pockets. Like, normally it's just like, oh, Cassidy doing the laissez-faire attitude. But no, the fact that Trent is so incensed and Cassidy does that, that is him getting in Trent's head. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're not worth me putting my energy in. And then it made Trent mess up. That's one thing Cassidy was showing in this match. This wasn't simply just to beat you. It was to make you feel less, to make you ridicule yourself. Sure, Trent was able
Yep.
to push Cassidy. I love how they're constantly bringing back how Cassie's throat was messed up from Trent doing that slingshot on under the
Mm-hmm.
ring. So when Trent did those throat cuts or knocked him in, or he did like those little rope hang-ups, Cassie's
Yep.
really selling how he's getting the wind knocked out of him.
Mm-hmm. I love how in this, at the end of this, it was a basic roll up that Cassidy, a basic wrestling move that Cassidy used to beat Trent.
Yeah.
Because Trent wanted a wrestling match, so he beat him with a wrestling hold.
And I do love, after the match is over, we just do see how torn and dejected Trent is. He's literally like he doesn't have the energy to attack him. He's just staring out in the distance. And when Renee goes to approach him, he's just like, "I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore." Rocky tries to comfort him. He's just walking away. He doesn't walk to the back. He walks out through the crowd, almost
Was
like,
that real or is that part of the story?
I personally think it's part of the story because then, of course, later on the pay per view, we get Don being interviewed by Lexi, and he says, "You want a scoop? Here's my scoop. I on Dynamite, which is tomorrow, he's going to give out an open contract to the Don Callis family." So I know you turned off your camera, but to everyone watching,
Sorry, my thing came undone.
Oh, that's okay. But this is to everyone just watching. I personally think this is part of the build. Trent's either going to be off TV for a while, then he's going to come back, or this was just him being, or maybe this is him saying, "I'm done." Like he's going to let go of his obsession to take apart Orange. And then when he does show back up again, he's going to be like, "I'm not thinking about you anymore. I'm going to move on."
Mm-hmm. I really
And
hope that the contract isn't for Orange Cassidy.
Which is going to tease, which I think will tease Trent and Orange a rubber match down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like Trent, like, I'm gonna refocus my energy.
Yeah, I really hope that contract's not for Orange Cassidy.
I personally don't think it is. I think it's a swerve because I don't think Cassidy's gonna join him because right now, after this pay per view, Cassidy has no outside of Romero. Cassidy no longer has any allies, and they're the best friends. That group, that stable is done.
Yeah, especially with what happened in the TBS title match.
Well, let's just keep going. Like outside, this was a good match. Mm-hmm. I will admit. And this was a story match, 100%. This was a match strictly for storyline, not just put together just to add beef on the card. Mm-hmm. This was a match that was meant to be. I won't say meant to be, but this was a match that you can argue if it really was meant to be on here. But to be honest, this was really shown to be on this card. Unlike one match, I will say probably should not have been on here.
I kind of agree. If we're thinking about the same match, I believe it's this match right here for the FTW title. Yeah. Chris Jericho versus Katsuyori Shibata versus
This is
Hook.
What I meant. Like, this is an entertaining match and not a great one.
I don't know. Like, I thought this was a really fun match. I love the fact that Jericho brings out the black bag, and it's something like different, do with the city he's in. It's the hockey pucks, and then it's a bag of dice.
Oh my goodness! That was one thing I enjoy with Jericho with this whole learning tree. He really is truly changing this up. I love the fact that he's not using Judas anymore because let's be honest, as much as I love the Judas part. The moment where you only have maybe a third of the crowd singing it, you gotta change it up.
Mm-hmm.
And which he was doing with his Lionheart. But then I'm like, okay. And just I talked to you earlier on with another wrestler that plays the delusional heel role very well. Jericho is 100% locked in on the delusional heel.
Yeah,
he is doing a great job with it. Like he comes out from the face tunnel because he believes he's doing a good thing. And like having Big Bill in his corner is fantastic because once again, this is Jericho. Like I have someone in my corner who I'm building who's learning from me.
His big red oak is what he calls him. It's amazing.
Yeah. And one thing I did enjoy with this little combination of Hook, Shibata, and Jericho is that Hook and Shibata, they are allies, but they both have something they want to get off. They both want to take. They want their shot at Jericho. And the one thing in this match, they weren't always at odds with each other unless push came to shove. Yeah, which we did a few times. Shibata, he did some holds or he did some suplexes on Hook when push came to shove. Hook, who, let's be honest, he has been showing more and more without the FTW title. He's becoming a little more. He's getting tunnel vision. He's losing focus, which is why I loved in some of the segments he's gotten. Samoa Joe shows up and he's telling him to stop. Keeping your eyes on Jericho. Start looking at what's around you. Like you ain't the killer that I thought you are.
By the way, Shibata ending that promo with Samoa Joe with "that man is too big to be wearing floral" was so fucking amazing.
Yeah, Shibata, oh my goodness. I mean, if people think
His phone gimmick is so good.
he's really like Shibata, it's not just the phone gimmick, but it's also the timing when he pulls that out is fantastic. Like he doesn't need to speak. He's showing that international wrestlers can find ways to get themselves over or cut good promos.
Yeah.
Even in the package, he was using the Speary,
Yeah.
he was using the Speary speak voice.
Dude, I've always loved Shibata. I think this is some of his best like entertaining work he's done.
The fact that this man had a career-ending injury and
Mm-hmm.
proved that he came back from it. He did great work in Japan, and now he's here in America. And he's no longer contracted to New Japan, so he's 100% invested to be here, like wrestling in America, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And the fact that
Jet,
it's surrounding, I mean, of course, he was just simply just first he was the pure champion, and then he was doing some simple wrestling matches, and now he's involved in this FTW championship surrounding Jericho. And Tabata, he's kind of so well that even in tag matches, even if he's the one getting pinned, it does not hurt or affect his
no.
aura because he's gonna get that rubber match down the road. And while going into this match, now you talk about him bringing out the dice. Shibata gets payback on Jericho throwing that puck on him to where he
He
throws
threw the dice.
he throws just two. He
So
throws I think
good.
2 dice at him, which was fantastic. And then we saw a bit of a mirror. We saw a reflection of how Shibata and Hook got how this singles match turned into a triple when Shibata got that leg lock and then Hook got the red rum in there.
Yeah.
I would say there was some really. This match definitely has some scary spots. When Shibata did that Death Valley driver
Yes.
onto Jericho on the table and they didn't break. I swear, during that little roll,
That looked awkward.
Hook almost looked like he landed very awkwardly or nasty on his like upper.
Jericho landing on his head during that double suplex on the dice looked fucking bad.
Yeah.
And then you had Big Bill taking the T-bone where he was this close to fucking impaling himself.
Yeah, or almost breaking the table leg to where he could have gotten like a part of his back cut up. There was some really close calls in this match to where I'm going, man, this match should have been on Dynamite where more time would have been given to it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like the FTW title. I've always said if they start using the FTW title as the variety title, like make it your hardcore championship. That's what it is anyway. FTW rules are just hardcore matches.
Well, I think the fact that it's an unsanctioned belt gives the person who holds it free free range to do whatever kind of rules they want for the match.
Yeah. But I think that would give every time it's defended, it's going to be maybe a hardcore match. So it gives it that element of fun that you could have with an FTW title match, but that's only if they start using that more often. But I like to say it more as it's like in UFC, it's the BMF title.
I think them using it on occasion works because then the championship is not overcrowding everything, and then it leads to the constant discourse over why. Let's just make the just make it an official title and not an unsanctioned title. But the fact that Jericho is like rebranding it for the world championship, it's kind of putting some. I don't know. It's kind of it's adding more layers to the character that he is, showing the hypocrisy on it. Like this title is not meant to be recognized. It's meant to be like it's meant to be kind of like a pound for pound championship. Where like
I love that Jericho turned to for the world, which is hilarious.
Yes. And then, well, of course, later in the match, another reason why I think this match should have been on Dynamite was the surprise later on when Hook got the red rum. Oh, no, not the red rum, but no, Shibata. When Shibata once again got that leg lock, he was stopped by a man in mask, which revealed to be Brian Keith. And he didn't have time to have that moment with the camera on because then Hook comes in with the cane. So I'm sure the audience still got that moment to where like, wait, Brian Keith. And but it was to me, I'm like, this match was really speeding itself through. to where if this was put on regular Dynamite, it would have time to breathe. Give it
Or
to
put it on the Collision before Double or Nothing and make that the main event. Make the episode of Collision
Dynamite or
before
Collision.
Dynamite
Yeah.
the uh, hell, instead of doing a kickoff show, just make the day before that episode of Collision, make that like a 2-hour like kickoff episode if you do it before a pay-per-view, and make it to where you have the matches that were going to be on there, but just put it on Collision, because then it's on national TV. You get to pull a rating of like, this is our special, Collision where we're going to do all the matches on the buy-in shows, and a lot of people get more time to get their stuff in.
Well, there's an idea. Yeah. It was just like this is just what it was just this triple threat match because of those scary spots we had and the lack of time Brian Keith had with the mask.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't seem to me like it should not have been pay-per-view, especially if they're trying to like save some time for some of the more bigger matches or the matches they want to devote more time to. To
Yeah,
me, honestly, this is the second match Jericho was in to where on pay-per-view where too much shit was rushed.
yeah. I will say I do love the addition of Brian Keith to the group because of the fact that Brian Keith never really had a story.
Well, technically, we don't know what if he is a part of the group because he is called the Bounty Hunter. This could have been just Brian Keith saying that he wants his shot at Jericho, so he just wanted to take Hook and he just didn't want Hook or Shibata to win. And then maybe it leads to where push to shove, he is in a temporary alliance with Jericho. And as I said earlier on of a new trio forming, Samoa Joe's promo to Hook on Rampage, or at least the Dynamite after that was shown on Rampage, Samoa Joe is going. He has invested interest in Hook, and I think Samoa
Joe, Shibata, and Hook.
Yes, I think those three will be a great trio because it not only gives them TV time. This is a way to still get Hook around to where he still needs to get used to working in multi-man matches. Because when he was FTW champion, they were doing squash matches with him, or it was tag matches. He was not in the ring all the time. Whoever was partner was taking most of the brunts.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Hookhausen, Junglehausen, then Orange Hook. Like, yeah, he was used very sparingly. Yeah, he was used very sparingly a lot. So having him team up with Joe and Shibata, who are experienced ring veterans, is a way to get Hook much more familiar and more in tune with his own like style in the ring. So then when Hook is finally on his own, he will be able to be that young talent for the future. And also having Joe, Shibata, and Hook as a trio, I think that's a good combination to where you can put the championship on them or have them chase the gold.
I could see that, and also it would be good on Joe because he is coming off of that AEW World Title reign. So having him go from AEW World Champion to then holding another belt in the Trios division doesn't feel like he's not doing anything.
Also, Joe in that promo said that, yeah, I lost my championship. I'm stacking bodies, but he's going to wait for his moment to get that championship back. So in that promo, Joe has alluded, I'm not done with the title. I'm not done winning that title, but I'm not in a rush to get it, like how Hook is with the FTW championship.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jericho retains it. Yeah.
So let's move on to the next match. An IWGP World Championship Eliminator match. Jon Moxley taking on Konosuke Takeshita. This match was fantastic. I loved this match. This is a New Japan style match.
Moxley once again with AEW from day one. His entrance wears the same jacket that he came out to when he first showed up.
Love that. What happened to his arm? Because I didn't watch Collision.
On Collision, Moxley came out, cut a promo, was approached by Don Callis. Don was cutting this promo to John, saying that we're not so different between the two of us. We're in a way like high functioning sociopaths. He shares a moment with Moxley to where we're our legacies are tied together. I was the one who helped end your reign as champion, and then you got me back by giving me the 24 stitches in my forehead. But then I returned the favor by turning my back on Kenny, so we're even. He was kind of opening the door for him to join the Don Callis family, and then Moxley's response was, if you want me to join you, I'm gonna have to hurt you, which was laid open. Then Takeshita attacks him. He puts a chair around Moxley's arm, and then from the turnbuckle jumps on it to where he hurts his shoulder. That's why his shoulder was wrapped up.
Okay, this match fucking ruled. This was a New Japan hard hitting style match.
I think
I kind of wish
one thing you need to reiterate. What you just said, New Japan. And this is unfortunately, I understand more than like every fan. Takeshita, it's not like he needed the win, but to me it felt like, yeah, he should have won. But let's not forget, Moxley is holding a belt from a different company. He's not holding an AEW title. If this was an eliminatory match and if he was holding an AEW belt, Takeshita definitely would have won. But this is New Japan, and right now, with Tony Khan working to form like a partnership with New Japan, and also New Japan, they are very, very protective of their champions when they go to different promotions or anyone who holds their belts, because they want their belts to be prestigious. They want their belts to look very sought after. So I understand everyone. Some complaints I understand. Others are kind of stupid to where they're blaming Tony Khan. I'm sorry. Tony has no control over how New Japan wants their champion to look. Also, Jon Moxley has a championship match coming up on June 9th at a New Japan pay-per-view. How is it going to look for anyone who follows New Japan to see Moxley come in there after a loss? It's the whole politicking around him being champion. I understand everyone is about it, they're upset about it, but I came across one post on Twitter where someone was sharing that Takeshita has fought Jon Moxley 2 other times earlier in his run. Yes, this is the 3rd time Takeshita and Moxley fought against each other.
What? Why don't I remember the first 2 times?
Well, the first one was when Takeshita was a face. Well, both times when Takeshita was a face. Can't find it, but here's the thing. And the way this guy was laying it out, he said that it was all telling a story of when Takeshita, and how Takeshita is as a wrestler. Like in his earlier run with Moxley, he was making a lot of rookie mistakes where Moxley capitalized on him. The second time they fought, Takeshita got a little better, was a lot more sharper. But Moxley was still a hard veteran to where he capitalized on him and took apart and was still able to still get the win over Takeshita, but Takeshita grew a little bit more as a wrestler on AEW where he stood as a threat. In this one, this match was Takeshita's match to win, but the factor that caused him to lose, Don fucking Callis. Just like when Don went to Will Ospreay telling him use the Tiger Driver 91, Will chose to ignore him. He won. Takeshita choosing to listen to Don
cost him the title shot.
Wanting to destroy him. Takeshita decides to listen, and it cost him to where John was able to beat him. And also, Takeshita made very cocky moves. He uses the Death Rider instead of just covering him immediately. He's just like, no, I'm going to take my time and pin you. No, Moxley kicks out. Moxley uses the Death Rider one time and wins. So, yes, I am very sorry. I understand everyone, your frustrations. I'm with you. But also at the same time, New Japan's going to protect their championship. Their world championship. Their top belt. So let's be honest. Everyone was complaining why Moxley was defending against Will Hobbs. You really think that they're going to... Well, actually, I shouldn't degrade that. With Will Hobbs, though, this was the first time an African American was challenging for that championship. So it was something good. He wasn't going to win, but it was still it was still something very prestigious.
Yeah.
They're really building it up. The fact that it was historically no man of African American descent has challenged for that championship in New Japan as well. So
Hmm.
this was something very interesting.
Yeah. The only thing I will say is I thought that they were going to let Takeshita win,
Hmm.
maybe due to outside interference. So that way Moxley still looks strong. And then the IWGP World Title match was going to happen at Forbidden Door, since that's
Yeah.
a co-branded one, and you do Moxley Takeshita for the world title.
Yeah.
But now I don't know who Moxley's going to face for that title.
They can still build that. Look, it's not. It's just because Takeshita lost in that eliminator does not mean he won't get a shot at Moxley again. To me, right now, it's all about what they're going to work in that little partnership. Maybe Moxley will defend it against someone from New Japan, and they take it off of him. But
I could see Konosuke costing. I know that wouldn't even work either.
I understand people's frustration with it. I really do. Even some friends I have that I was talking to, they just go, "Yeah, yeah." They make good points. Takeshita, you should have won that. But if you look at this match, breaking the storyline
Hmm.
style, Takeshita King had the biggest advantage. He had Moxley wounded and hurt. All
He was
three of them,
dominating 90% of the match.
exactly. But Takeshita got cocky. In a
Hmm.
simple storyline, the overconfident heel failed to capitalize. But because
Yeah.
it's Takeshita and because he's considered the young guy to most of these fans, and I get it, I understand where they're coming from, but to be honest, their energy and your opinion.
The timing of this also doesn't help AEW because this is coming off of Takeshita having that interview where he says he doesn't like his future in America.
This, I think, I've read that article. I believe he was in character when he said that.
Was he?
I believe so. Look, many wrestlers I've seen do interviews in character so
Mhm.
much that it really is hard to blur those lines. Um,
Yeah.
Also, Moxley, this is someone who's been with. I mean, sure, Moxley would have had no problem like giving Takeshita the win, but once
Oh, I
again,
know. Yeah.
he's holding the New Japan Championship.
Hmm.
What's the way everyone goes about it? You're not someone who if you don't work in no fan works at New Japan. None of these dirt sheets, these opinion based accounts, none of them are working for New Japan. They don't know what goes on at that company. They don't know the partnership and the delicacy between Tony Khan and Tanahashi on the management partnership. And also, if you were the head of a wrestling company and your world champion lost on a pay per view to a rival company's brand,
Hmm.
business wise, how is that going to help you with that champion when you bring him back to your promotion when millions of people watched it? No matter, despite the
Again, to be fair, you could do it to where Moxley loses the match due to outside interference.
oh
You could have
yes,
Kyle Fletcher. You could have other people come out. Hell, Jeff Cobb could come back and help. Or help Takeshita win. But
I mean
the
I'm really
idea
not
I have to
trying
turn this
to.
around.
I'm not trying to get on this soapbox here. I'm just
Oh
like
yeah, it's
trying to
fine.
bring out that constant reminder. He's holding
Hmm.
the top belt of a rival company that
Yeah.
AEW wants to have a partnership with to continue more opportunities like Forbidden
Hmm.
Door. I mean, AEW is working partnerships with New Japan, with CMLL, with
Hmm.
CMLL, even sometimes with AAA, even though that falters a little bit. AEW wants it to be a very open brand, open promotion to work with so many different talent. And now they got Stardom wrestlers showing up on Ring of Honor and on AEW on Dynamite and Collision and Rampage. There's going to be some give and take here, and unfortunately, the take was that Takeshita took the loss. And also, Takeshita, he's not an American. He doesn't have a dual citizenship. He's
Hmm.
also working in Noah, which he's also always split with with scheduling.
Yeah.
So while
But I.
but at the same time, Takeshita was very strong in this match. Like you said, he
Mhm.
dominated. It solidifies him as a pound for pound, as a fighter and someone not to be
Yeah.
trifled with. It's just in the storyline and character, he fucked up.
Yeah, I also wonder if because we're seeing a lot of AEW stars going over to New Japan to tie in storylines, like the Elite did that with taking Eddie Kingston out when he needed
Yes, we
surgery.
lost the Gabe Kid. Yeah,
Yeah, I wonder if this is a way that like maybe after if Moxley beats Evil at Resurgence,
yeah. I think he's gonna
Takeshita
beat
comes
Evil.
out. So Takeshita then comes out and attacks Moxley, which then could lead to Moxley and Takeshita for the title at Forbidden Door.
That could open the door for it. But Takeshita, I don't think he's but then Takeshita he wrestles primarily in Noah, which is not a part of New Japan Pro.
But I think Tanahashi is okay with that if it
I mean, he
sets up.
probably could be. Yeah, it's just he may be the president, but he doesn't have final say, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
he
don't
does
know.
have some final say, but there's the politics of the company. It's
Yeah,
just
it's a very weird situation right now with the IWGP World Title picture. All right, so we gotta move on. We're almost 2 hours in.
yeah. Let's keep going because we're halfway into this pay per view now.
So this is probably my match of the night. The TNT Championship barbed wire steel cage match. Champion Adam Copeland defends against Malachi Black.
Oh boy.
Fucking Copeland coming out to Slayer. Fucking rules, bro.
I almost didn't recognize the song at first. I had to Shazam it to be sure that was Slayer.
Yeah. Um, and he comes out with the Ring of Fire, the Brood entrance. Dude, so fucking cool, man. Malachi Black gets a really, really great entrance as well. Again, they waste no time in this match. Almost immediately, Malachi Black is bleeding from the barbed wire. The white ropes are stained red, which I love. This match was brutal. Some of the spots. Let me see if I can go back through my notes.
Oh, the turnbuckle when Adam at first he grabbed that little piece of barbed wire to use, and then they did another tease to where Malachi was trying to throw his head into it, and then
Yeah, he
those
almost to
camera
blind
moments,
him.
yeah, that camera in the corner was very fantastic, really showing like the fear in both of their eyes.
Was that real barbed wire? I saw like actual barbed on it, like the spikes on
Well,
it.
the fact that they got bloodied up from it, it's definitely real barbed wire. I mean, some were real. I'm pretty sure around the cage it wasn't, but some that was involved in the match was.
Yeah. Edge or Adam Copeland. I keep calling him Edge, but Adam Copeland.
Hey, I fucked up playing Edge before we even started, so I think that's
That
something.
this man is not like he knows he doesn't have that long left. He even said he's got like 2 or 3 years left in him.
Yeah.
He's going all fucking out, man. All these hardcore matches, shit like that. I love to see it, man.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm enjoying with Copeland. I mean, honestly, he could have continued doing like wrestling singles matches, having big feuds without a championship on him. But one thing I'm enjoying what he's doing with the TNT Championship, he's like, yeah, if you want a shot, come for it. I mean, not every time we need like an open challenge, but for Copeland though, this is more of him being like, I'm not going to wait to be in a storyline feud with somebody. I'm just going to have an open challenge. You guys want to fight me? Come on over. I mean, it's kind of like in the indies, though. Not every wrestling match is going to have a storyline going into it. It's just going to be like, we're pitting these wrestlers against each other, and that's it.
Yeah, so I'm going to compare this to the Cope Open. I'm comparing that to the John Cena US Open Challenge.
Okay.
A way to take a mid-card title and elevate it by putting it on a main eventer, but then they're working with younger talent. Copeland has worked with Penta. He has worked with Daniel Garcia. He's worked with all of these young talent, and even in losses, they are getting better because they're working with a veteran.
Exactly.
So
And
that's
currently,
why
right now, yeah. And currently, from what I've seen with Copeland's work, there is something we're going to have to address later on. I mean, at least after we're done talking about the match. But with Copeland, it's just like, man, like it's with the champion. And the TNT Championship is kind of a good title for him to use anyway. Because I'm not gonna say it's not prestigious and all, but before the international title came along, I'll say the TNT Championship was at least in a way like the second higher
Mhm.
championship until Cassidy's run with the championship, and now with
Yeah.
that being on Osprey, that the international title is definitely the one that will be the the second prestigious title to the World Championship.
Yeah, I do feel like AEW needs to slow down on how many titles they have. Because, like, the TNT title is good, but it's just another title. Like, the international title, you know what that's going to be. That's going to be the workhorse title. Like, that's, Orange Cassidy, Osprey, Phoenix, Moxley. Those are
I think
workhorse
they need
guys.
to definitely give some variety to their titles. I mean, what is the TNT title going to be for their company? What will the international title be? Because if it's going to be to where like wrestlers like Osprey can actually go across different promotions and defend it, then that is something that title can
Hmm.
be. And then when an American wrestler like Cassidy has the championship, they can be, you know what, we'll defend it in in country and maybe on rare occasions, but the
Yeah,
TNT
I
title,
would like the international title to be the title, almost like what the European title was, where it's like when Regal had it, where it's like you had to be of different um
nationalities.
nationalities to fight for the title.
I think that's what it was supposed to be originally when it was called the All Atlantic title. It was meant to be
Hmm.
something internationally, but I think because the fact of international wrestlers, the fact they have to deal with visas, they have to deal with maybe scheduling certain dates to wrestle, it
Yeah,
just made it difficult regarding that. So I think with it being maybe we instead of you coming to us for the title, we'll bring the title to your promotion. You know.
yeah. But this match, let's get back on track. This match was great. Um, I love the where Copeland kicks Malachi out of the cage. I love the rules that there's no escape in AEW cage matches.
No,
That's
you pin
that's the
or
whole point of
submission.
cage
That's
matches.
simply it. Yeah. It's
Yeah, that's
back to the old school how it was meant to be. Sure, you can escape from the cage,
yep.
but doesn't mean the match is over.
I hate when WWE does the you can escape the cage as a way to win, because the whole point of a cage match is to keep the guys contained.
Yeah.
Why would you give them an option to escape to win the match? But also because AEW doesn't have a Hell in a Cell type thing, they
Mhm.
took that and just kind of applied it to their cage match, which I like.
No, I think
But
them not having too many like their own gimmick matches, it
mhm,
kind of makes it much easier for them to you go back into wrestling history and look at some of the classic gimmick matches and apply that
yeah,
to their style. I mean, so far, what's been close to their Hell in the Cell was the Blood and Guts, but that's
mhm.
been kind of like a team. It's kind
That's
of
more of their War Games match,
yeah.
though.
It is more their workings, but the cage is much more bigger,
Mhm.
honestly, compared to a regular cage match. That's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say.
Um, but I love when Copeland kicks Malachi Black out of the cage, and you have the scene where Buddy and Brody come out and they walk next to Copeland, and then they just attack him.
That was really
They
good,
got me.
honestly.
They
That
got
was
me.
really good. I don't care what people are going to say. Oh, I saw that coming. No, you did not.
No,
Because here's
no.
the
I will
thing.
say this. I watched Sean Ross Sapp,
Hmm.
and he was like, that was so good that we had people from WWE texting him like, "Is Malachi Black coming to the company?" When Buddy and Brody turned on him.
Yeah.
So if you can pop people in other companies, there's no way you saw it coming.
And I mean, and if you really look back at the House of Black, like when Buddy first showed up, they teased that he was going to rival Malachi, but then he immediately joins them. It's the good little bits of storytelling and mind games that the House of Black
Mm-hmm.
does. That's why I like them as a group together. Who knows where this leads further down the road for Malachi wrestling singles matches? But man, that was really good to where I'm thinking, wow, did Edge really make them doubt Malachi? And then they bring him in there. They're about to finish him off. They give him in a bit of a sitting crucifix style.
Wait. Let's talk about
The case,
the
yes, the
dive
diving spot, yes.
the dive
That
spot real
one,
quick.
Man, that spot. I like the step what he's doing. He wants to punish Malachi, puts him on that table, wraps barbed wire around
Mhm.
him to where I'm thinking, oh, is he just going to do a top rope spot? No, he's climbing up that cage. Man, it really was difficult. When I saw him, his body wasn't laying out. He was just doing a simple straight jump. I'm going, what are you doing? And then just that small elbow. It took some replays, honestly, to watch. And I see his arm. He does land on a part of Malachi that's not wrapped in the barbed wire, which I'm
Mhm.
guessing was supposed to be, but maybe because of the distance, he wasn't sure, or he was so confident on that he could nail the move. To me, I
Yeah.
felt maybe if he had just wrapped the barbed wire around his legs to keep him pinned down to keep him on the table from escaping,
Mhm.
and then maybe punch him in the head a couple of times to disorient him. Then I think him maybe doing a frog splash or a body splash or an elbow or a proper elbow drop where his legs are out would have been better in hindsight.
I also wonder if maybe he shouldn't have put the barbed wire around Malachi.
Well, that
It's a
Malachi
story.
would have moved. I think his point was that Malachi should not move. That
I,
like
I
like in the headspace of the game plan. I'm thinking that's
I
what.
get that, but also, why would you willingly jump on barbed wire? Like, why would you do a splash knowing you're gonna land on barbed wire? That's gonna hurt you just as much as it's gonna hurt your opponent. And I guess that's kind of the story, but
I think
like,
I honestly I do I think that should have been the story there where Adam was so upset. I was about to say Edge myself.
I do that constantly.
Where Adam was just so I mean because like Adam did say like on that previous Dynamite and then on Collision because the thing that led to that point with Buddy and Brody is that Copeland on Collision did this little
Hmm.
video package to Buddy and Brody talking about his time against Malachi Black and in his promo he just says you know what happens when you invited me in your home. Oh my god, I'm forgetting what he said. Like you invited the vampire in your home. Be careful. You should be careful what you brought into your house because I
Hmm.
might make it mine. Oh God, this is where I really should have written notes down on that part.
That yeah, I know the promo you're talking about, and that's such a good promo. It sucks that Copeland did get injured in this match though with that spot.
Yeah, we have to definitely jump across that elephant in the room. Copeland announced on a video that he had fractured his tibia,
Hmm.
and yeah, he has to relinquish the TNT title. It really sucks because one, it was a great match. It was a good way for Copeland to like a really big match to solidify his reign as a TNT champ.
Hmm.
I guess because of that big spot, it really did cost him. And I even like when he's talking about the winner in the video. I guess the house always does win because guess what? He's not
Yeah.
champion anymore.
Would you give Malachi the title?
Well, I was speaking to a friend of mine since Copeland had announced he has to relinquish the title when he's hurt. I think what Tony can do since Forbidden Doors coming up, he can maybe set up some qualifying matches
Hmm.
for an opportunity to fight at Forbidden Door for the TNT Championship. That way you can reassert Malachi back into the hunt. Don't do a
Yeah.
battle royal to crown champion because I've already seen how fandoms react to that with one wrestler. So I think at this point, Tony. I mean, look, he's got the Owen Hart tournament coming up, where
Hmm.
who will face the world champion at All In. He can do a mini little tournament or some mini qualifying matches to
Like
be
a
like,
4-man tournament or something?
yeah, maybe do like a four way dance for the TNT Championship. That way you can reinsert Malachi, maybe insert Daniel Garcia, get Kyle O'Reilly in there because he did fight, or maybe
Get
just set up Copeland's last opponents for the TNT Championship,
in a
which
triple
were
threat?
which well, oh wait, Matt Cardona, he's not with the company, so he really couldn't be inserted into. Oh, he's hurt anyway. So yeah, triple threat.
Yeah.
Although Penta faced him for the TNT title, four-way
Mhm.
dance.
Yep, there you go. But yeah, this match was insane. And then the greatest uh spot in the whole match, Gangrel comes out. This
Yeah,
is
once
so fucking
they did
cool.
that seated crucifixion and put the crown of barbed wire around his head. Then the lights start flashing on and off. Music's playing. Brody goes to grab that little barbed wire post, but then he pulls his hand away. It's like, oh, what the hell? And then the floor just opens up and there's Gangrel.
Dude, it's so fucking cool, man.
It really
Uh,
was. And
he
the
hits
reports,
some great impaler DDTs.
they were good. And the spitting blood was so well timed onto Buddy
Yes.
Murphy. So when he does
Matthews.
those jumping impalers, yeah, when he does those jumping impalers onto Buddy and Brody, man, they were good. So when he got
Mm-hmm.
when he ate the black mass kick, I'm like, no, he got his shit in. He distracted him long enough for Copeland to get that spear in the 1-2-3. Oh,
Yeah. And then like they hug after the match, and you got like Gangrel doing the rocker
the
pose.
And even at the end, when he was bringing him up to the top of the ramp, when Adam Copeland was bringing his arms up, he was going to step back, but Copeland's like, no, man, get
Get
in
over
here.
here.
Yeah, I love it. It's Copeland acknowledging like his history with him. And from reports I read, Copeland wanted to pitch this for 39, but WWE shut that down because they thought
Go ahead, yeah.
no one would know who Gangrel is.
Well, you guys were wrong, I guess, because everybody popped when Gangrel came out, bro.
The things that Copeland has done, at least for the big moments, were shit that was shot down by WWE. Copeland versus Christian at WrestleMania, that was shot down. So what we get, Copeland and Christian for AEW, and guess what? That feud was, I mean, some people might think it was rocky, but it was still a good, I mean, the fact that it kicks off with Christian saying, go fuck yourself.
And then Copeland doing the same thing to him was awesome.
Exactly. Two men who were close friends, but now we're just like they want nothing to do with each other. Like Copeland and Christian really made insult this feud. I'm like, as much people want to give crap on AEW, at least with AEW, the wrestlers that leave WWE, like Copeland or those like Sting who came in there, AEW was willing to give them a second chance to do something. Hell, when Christian came back in from injury, when he showed up at the Royal Rumble, not utilized very well. So when he shows up in AEW, everyone thought that he wasn't a great acquisition. Look at him now. Everyone loves
doing the best work of his entire career.
It's with wrestlers like Christian, Copeland, Sting. I'll even add Saraya with Mercedes. We are seeing, it's one of these reasons why AEW is so goddamn important. It's not just another alternative version of wrestling to introduce brand new faces to audiences who are so used to WWE, but also a point of another, it's meant to be another way, just not just some more wrestling variety for fans and to open the doors up for other wrestling promotions, but also for other wrestlers to realize we don't have to be bottled into WWE just to realize a dream.
That's why I hate when people are like, I hope AEW fails, because I want AEW to stay around forever, because if it does, then that means the wrestlers have alternatives to go to.
Yes.
They're not just on either WWE or the indies.
Yeah, sure. WWE is still going to be here. It's been around for, I mean, depending on how well this fucking merger with TKO works out for them.
Yeah.
But WWE has had the long staying power. I'm pretty sure if these fans are smart, which they should be, should realize it doesn't hurt having alternative competition. The fact that there's 16 teams in baseball, 16 in football. Not 16. There's 32 baseball teams. There's minor leagues for baseball. There's minor leagues for football. There's a football division in Canada that even some of the American footballers have gone to get a little better and come back. The fact that wrestling is also not a fallback, but it's also been an alternative for other people who have not been successful in other sports like basketball, football. I mean, for God's sakes, Roman Reigns and The Rock and Brock Lesnar were unsuccessful football stars who are mega stars in wrestling. Even Moose in TNA was not a successful footballer who became a great wrestler. It's these comments of AEW's dying or AEW should fail or AEW's dropping the ball is where I'm like, you are so fucking short-sighted. Look at wrestling. Sure, it's not like actual amateur wrestling you see in the Olympics or in your high school gyms, but this professional wrestling here it can be a second chance for people who were not successful in any other ventures of sport. Oh,
Mm.
Julia Hart. She was a Julia Hart and Alexa
Cheerleader.
Bliss. They were cheerleaders in their previous life, in their
Yep.
earlier in their early lives. And look at them now. They're success. Well, Alexa, she's gone for a while. Maybe she might come back, but successful wrestlers. Even Tiffany Stratton herself, like
Mm-hmm.
no, was it cheerleading or she was more gymnastics?
Yeah.
Cheerleading?
Yeah, I believe she was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
Yeah. It's just like seeing so many variety of athletes that come into wrestling and are able to make advantage and make it their own.
Mm-hmm.
Is something where I go, look at this talent here. Look what wrestling is able to bring out of people. Find new ways of achieving dreams of being an athlete, and you want to shoot it down. Why? Because it's not your cup of tea. Okay, do yourself a favor. Block whatever you see on Twitter and just focus on your cup of tea. Stop being this bitter person who
Mm-hmm.
tweets every now and then or retweets about, oh, this is why AEW sucks or this is why WWE is the best. You're not helping yourself in your mental health, and you're going to close your mind, and you're just going to close off your mind to so many open possibilities.
And you know what sucks? Going back to this match right here, I can just hear people being like, "Oh, that's why Copeland should have stayed in WWE because he does wild shit in AEW and gets injured."
Well, Jesus Christ. I heard those same comments towards Danielson when he was like always like storyline or actual hurt.
Mm-hmm. I hate that, like when Copeland came to AEW, there are people who are immediately like, "Oh, just flushing your career down the drain." I see.
Or another ex WWE star. I'm just going, you know what? You guys are just kind of like just gnats. I'm just gonna put out a bowl of sugar water and let you drown.
All right, let's move on to the first of our triple main events.
Yeah.
For the TBS Championship, champion Willow Nightingale taking on the CEO Mercedes Moné in her in-ring AEW debut. Love the entrance that Mercedes got. Love that Willow came out with Stokely and Chris Statlander holding a giant friendship bracelet.
Yes.
So funny.
It was without
This match
a
was
doubt
great.
so hilarious.
This match was fantastic. Mercedes showed why she was a great pickup for AEW because she did really well in this match. Willow really fucking shined, showing her power in this match. That power bomb on the apron. Holy
and the way
shit.
Mercedes sold it too, like when she hit that, she felt like her back. And like, you know, those X-ray moves like those X-ray moves in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
It's just all you gotta do is just zoom in. It's like, oh,
yes.
But one thing I will say about Willow, I understand people are gonna like do their complaints, but look what they have done with Willow in 1 month build. They have solidified her as a top babyface. She has gotten so good on promo work. She defended her TBS title in Stardom and was able to really come off with crossover appeal in Japan. And the fact that they tied so well, this little fight between the two of them, the fact that this was Mercedes finishing off some unfinished business between her and Willow. The match that was the championship, the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, which was kind of meant to be the belt for Mercedes, but she gets hurt.
Yeah,
gives to Willow, which since Willow last year, despite how people think Willow was handled, her with that slow build of her, that slow burning build was kind of good. Was good. Because
I think she was made last year during the Owen Hart tournament when she won that.
Well, when she got the championship, I think the championship had to push her even more to win it because otherwise that would have gone to Ruby Soho personally. But because Willow won that, this was AEW like, no, we gotta capitalize on this. She wins the Owen Hart tournament, and then of course later on she loses that belt to Julia, or is it Julia, who then, oh my god, I mean, unfortunately said that she ended up getting injured. But then the woman who has it now, Stephanie Vacour, holy shit. That is someone.
Wait, Steph Vacour, is that the one who is working with Matt Cardona?
No, that's Steph DeLander.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. No, Steph Vacour, she's from CML. She's from CMLL.
Oh, okay.
Stephanie McCoy. Like, I gotta make sure I can say her name right because it's gonna fucking bother me. Well,
I
keep
I
going.
love that this match focused a lot on Willow taking out the knee of Mercedes and Mercedes taking out the knee of Willow.
Yeah, that was, and that's one thing also showing differences. Like you said, Willow is showing power and explosive energy, but Mercedes, because she knows of her size, she is working on the knee of Willow to chop her down to
Mm-hmm.
possibly, get work her off to have her submit. Really
But
make.
also the storyline of like Mercedes said, "Okay,
Yeah,
you
look,
injured my leg. Now I'm going to take out your knee."
exactly. And also, I still love that when she said, "Oh, when we first fought, I walked out champion. You didn't walk
You
out."
didn't walk out at all.
That,
Oh my
that's,
god,
that's showing a pettiness. That's one thing with Mercedes in this match. They're showing the pettiness in her, like the bitter. Like, yes, you may be strong, you may be powerful, you may have more stamina, but I'm petty, bitch. And here I go.
dude! The fucking pounce that Willow did on Mercedes and that
Oh,
sell, amazing.
she just Jesus. I like it when Willow does the pounce, but when a wrestler sells it so well, it literally looks
Mm-hmm.
like they were just launched in the air. I still can't get over the pounce she did on Sky Blue that launched her into the damn corner.
So the match ends. Willow had the match won. She hit the Doctor Bomb, but Statlander and Hathaway
They
are
were,
distracting the
yeah.
ref.
Well, at first they were arguing because Mercedes got in the way, and then
Mm-hmm.
they were trying to. Chris was getting involved. Stat was trying to bring her down. Stat's like trying to tell off the ref, and then yeah, she's that Doctor Bomb. It wasn't until Stoke halfway through Stoke realized, oh shit, she's pinning her. Ref.
So I don't know if I like Mercedes' new finisher, the Moneymaker.
I think the problem is the way that one really relies solely on the person taking it. Because when
Mm-hmm.
she did it in New Japan, like when she did it on Kyrie before she went back to WWE,
That looked great.
when she does it on other wrestlers who are her size, yeah, this was to me where I'm like, this shouldn't have worked. You shouldn't have done that on Willow. Maybe a power bomb off of Willow that led into a submission move or a roll up, but
I think the I'm gonna call it the bank statement for
I
right
don't
now.
know what she calls it. But yeah, let's go for it.
But I think that should be her finisher. Just because it works with her technician style.
Yeah, she's been
Like,
showing less and less of a technician style, especially when she has that move.
or I would make, now this may sound weird, make the Meteora her finisher. The way that Mercedes hits that Meteora is always beautiful. So if she can hit that and pin her opponent, like she hits it while they're on the ground and she pins them in like a tight pin like that, that could work.
Yeah, because honestly, the way Mercedes does a Meteor is fantastic, but also, I mean, she did come back from a knee injury, so I think she's trying to be
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. Oh God, I mean, look, she wins the title in her in-ring
Mhm.
debut, and because Mercedes, yes, despite what people say and why she's there, she has that crossover appeal, not just because of her time in
She does.
WWE, but also from she spent away. For Christ's sake, if people forget, she was in a.
She's
Star
a
Wars.
Hollywood star. Yeah.
She was in Star Wars, which got a lot of children's attention. So guess what? Bring her in AEW. She's going to grab that attention. To me,
Mercedes is going to do so well with this title because she can take it to places like talk shows, and she can take it to places just like what Swerve Strickland's doing with the world title.
Yeah,
He's
Mercedes
going and doing
is a
interviews.
natural talker. She is a natural talker. To me, with Mercedes right now, currently, Mercedes needs to tweak a little bit of her promo work.
She needs to be a heel.
No, it's not. It's not a heel thing. I think. Look, I get it. She works better as a heel, but honestly, to me, I think faces can work better if they either have an edge or you give them something that makes them more natural. Because look what Willow did in between this time when she became champion at Dynasty to now. She got a little more edge to her character. Sure, she still smiled, which was part of her babyface thing, but she also showed behind my smile, there is somebody you don't want to mess with. That's one
So,
thing with faces that you can still do. She's still a pure
mhm.
baby face, but she's like, I can bring that beast out of me when I want to.
Here's the comparison I keep making to Willow, and I want to see if you agree with me.
Mhm.
Willow reminds me so much of NXT Bailey.
Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking of too.
Mm-hmm.
NXT Daily, and I'll even say, look, I get people, they understand the black and white of heels and baby faces, why it's so much more fun to be heels. Look, I completely get that. But one of the things that still drives me to baby faces is how if you do them right, if you give them the right storylines,
Mm-hmm.
they can eclipse a heel every day of the fucking week.
Yeah, exactly.
Heels
But
aren't
like
meant to be like
Willow,
huge
her character
stars.
now reminds me of
Mhm.
NXT Bailey mixed with the role model Bailey, where she's more confident now. And that's where the role model Bailey comes in.
Yeah.
But she's also got that infectious smile that people love when her music hits.
Yeah.
All
And
right, let's
so,
move
yeah.
on. Oh,
No,
oh wait,
I was gonna add. Oh, go ahead.
we got to talk about the ending of this after Mercedes wins the title.
Well, I was
Stokely
gonna add
berates.
one more thing.
Mm,
Oh no, this wasn't involved in the match. Never mind. I'm confusing a spot in this match that was in another match. Okay, so let's go.
okay, so after Mercedes wins, Stokely is berating Willow for losing. Chris pushes Stokely down, walks up the ramp with Willow, and just fucking bangs her, like pushes her down onto the rampway. And I
Ooh.
love this because Chris Statlander smiles and it pans over to Stokely, and Stokely has this evil fucking grin on his
It's a
face.
shit-eating grin, honestly. That shit-eating grin where he's like,
Yes,
"Yeah, I had that fucking plan in me the whole time."
I called this shit.
Well, honestly, it was at this point to where it had to happen because after
Mm,
Dynasty, they have been playing those. They have been playing moments where Statlander hasn't always had her back. Sure, they were spraying it apart when when the three of them became a unit. Like
yep.
Willow couldn't make it because her flight was delayed, or Stokely had done something that caused a little bit of dissension between them, or Willow and
Mm,
Stokely never got on the same on the same pace, on the same they never got on the same pace, and Chris had to be the one between. But yeah, they were kicking it up for Dynasty. The fact that Chris had touched Mercedes that led her to slap Willow, and that when Willow had gotten hurt, they were doing things to show Chris was still being the supportive friend, but there was constant miscommunication. So I'm like, yeah, double or nothing. This is the one. This has to happen.
mm-hmm. And what's great is Statlander is now working with Stokely, and Stokely is so good as a talker, as a mouthpiece. I mean, Stat is okay on the mic, but matching her up with someone who has the energy of a Stokely Hathaway is brilliant.
Well, yeah, and Stokely, it also works in Stokely's long term plan for a long time. He's been trying to court and recruit Statlander. So
Mm-hmm.
now finally he's just more of, yes, I am now, not only am I behind you, but we're going to do great things together. And I've talked to you before afterwards. I mean, even before this happened, before Double or Nothing, I did talk about a multiple opportunity of some big match feuds surrounding the TBS championship. I mean, maybe Chris Statlander will move on to the main title for the world title, and Mercedes will use it. I mean, maybe Mercedes will have some other underlining
Mm-hmm.
fights. But now with Willow and Statlander, they're going to be at each other's throats. If either of them are in the Owen Hart tournament, I'm pretty sure that Stokely is going to try to do everything he can to make sure Willow doesn't win, and then Willow's going
Yep.
to return the favor.
So I'm actually really glad that they did this after the match and aren't making this surrounding a title. Because what this shows is AEW is now starting to use the women's division not solely relying on title feuds, but you have just personal feuds. Like Willow and Statlander, they don't need a title. They
No,
have that history built in already. So let them just go and don't have it just be where the women's titles are the only feuds on your show.
Yeah, that's one thing I do appreciate now. Like we can finally start having some women. We can have some singles women matches on pay per view without a
Hmm.
title involved. The fact that we had that with Cassidy and Trent on here, and we can definitely do that with many more. Not every pay per view needs to have a title there. Some titles
Yep.
can be off pay per view and can be solely on television. That's one thing I'm hoping AEW will do. I mean, yes, they have multiple titles, but they can spread them apart. Like some titles can be defended on Dynamite and Collision or Rampage. Some can be for pay per view.
Yep.
That way, you're still showing variety. The titles are spread out everywhere. So then it's like people don't have to focus so much on one pay per view where every storyline needs to push around titles. You can be like,
Hmm.
we got some personal feuds that's going to happen on pay per view, spread out with some titles here. That way, they can start evenly pacing out their cards.
Yep. And they even did this on the buy-in with Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo. That
Yeah,
was a storyline that was built
and
from
then yeah,
Deonna and Tony's feud, which then led to Thunder Rosa versus Tony's feud, and then they were connecting with each other.
yeah, and then let that heel turn from Diana at Daly's
Hmm.
place when Thunder beat her, and their feud is not even over yet. They're going to have that rubber match, and then we had that little trios match with Acclaimed and Cage Agony,
Hmm.
which was a nice little state. It was like kind of like a little padding before the main
Yep.
show.
All right. Are you ready to move on to our co-main event?
Let's do it.
For the AEW World Championship, champion Swerve Strickland takes on Christian Cage. I fucking love this storyline.
Oh boy!
The
Oh
I
man!
the idea, and you said this, the idea that Swerve as a face still has to answer for the stuff he did as a heel. I love that AEW doesn't forget their past. They bring up all their history. They're like, oh yeah, Swerve's a face now, but he did some heinous shit as a heel.
Yeah,
Let's
and
not forget about that.
they did sort of do the turn with it. They did tweak his character because at first when he won the title, he was going on talk shows talking about how he's feeling gratitude as a champion, almost in a pure babyface way. But once Christian was inserted into the picture, bringing up his past deeds, and then having the Gates of Agony and Brian Cage turn on him, Swerve like, okay, you got me confused with somebody else. And
Mm-hmm.
then he started bringing up, sure, Christian was still getting the one up on him, but then in this match, Swerve kind of reminded Christian, you may have backup, but don't forget you're stuck in this ring with me. And I like how in this
Yep.
match, Christian was always on the run. He was on the defense.
Mm-hmm. I also love how in this storyline, the idea was that Christian wanted to take everything away from Swerve. He
Mm-hmm.
took his faction. He took a part of his hair. He
Yes.
took like a body part of his. He wants to take stuff away from Swerve because he remembers what Swerve did to Nick Wayne. I love when they use the photo of Swerve and his family and
Yeah.
busted Swerve open with it, calling back to when Swerve did that with Wayne's photo of him and his father.
Yep.
Beautifully done. This match was great. Everybody doesn't give Christian enough credit. He was so good in this
They
match.
still don't, which is a damn shame. Like I remember when I remember seeing comments where people were like, "Why is Christian the first challenge? Why is Christian the first challenger? Why not? Why fucking
Yeah.
not?" And even in this match, you are seeing like Christian, him being very confident when he has his family around him. But
Mm-hmm.
once they're removed, Christian is like anybody else running away from Swerve. Although I do appreciate the moments when Swerve wanted to punish Christian on that steel step, Christian's able to turn around. Oh my god. The camera work when Swerve lands on those steps was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the steps, so you don't know what part of Swerve's base hit the steps or how bad he hurt
Actually,
him.
can we bring up how great Swerve his entrance was?
Oh
Shout
yes,
out to
yes,
the
yes.
Warriors.
Oh
Nana,
yes.
Swerve, come out and play.
And then
So
Swerve coming
fucking
out
good.
dressed as one of the
The
Warriors.
Warriors. Oh, it's so
Woo!
fucking good.
That's one thing I do love that. And I am one thing I remember talking to you earlier off during the weeks ago about
Mm.
ideas I had for Swerve and how he can be built and what can be taken from him. I'm glad that they are not doing this thing of having him and Nana be broken apart.
No,
They
keep
they
him and
tested
Nana
the
for a
waters a
while.
little bit. They tested the waters to see how Swerve would be on his own without Nana. And while he is still good on his
Mm-hmm.
own, it's honestly without Nana, his aura is kind of it's just I won't say lackluster or incomplete. It's just without Nana there, and Nana adds new level to that aura of
Yeah.
Swerve.
But this match was fantastic. Christian really stepped up in this match, and he's always been good. But him and Swerve have a really interesting chemistry with each other.
They honestly
Sorry. I love when the patriarchy gets ejected and Christian is holding the referee back, and all of a sudden the camera work in this one is fantastic too. You see Swerve trying to get up off the stairs, and all of a sudden Nick Wayne just comes in and hits him with Wayne's World, off the steps onto the floor.
And then
So fucking smooth.
And I loved how when Wayne pops his head back up after Swerve kicks out of the kill switch and he like in volume. Here comes Nana. Like first he's running down
Takes him out with a giant ass pipe.
And then he's holding his pants up while he's chasing him.
Yeah, he's trying. It's so funny. This match was great. Swerve hitting what did he do? He hit
the house call.
The house call, the Swerve stomp, then another house call to beat Christian.
That it was a great play-by-play too. Like at first, Christian's going for the spear in midair house call, which is fantastic.
Beautiful.
So seamless in transition was fantastic. Well even early on, before then, before patriarchy and Nana were ejected, I really do enjoy like when Swerve was punishing Christian. He raised his turtleneck above his face and was like he was like hitting him in the chest, choking him, like
commentary.
Really turtleneck to be like, you took something from me, well I'm gonna take something of yours and make it your weakness.
Commentary. I love that Excalibur brought up that Christian looks like Kenny from South Park. And then Tony Schiavone comes back with, well, he looks more like Cornholio.
Oh yeah. At first I'm thinking, man, where's Cornholio from? And then I'm thinking to myself, Cornholio.
Cornholio. Here's the butthead.
That was a great Beavis and Butthead reference where like I had to sit and think on it.
Dude, this might be my favorite commentary team. The way they work off each other is fantastic. And you can tell all three of them are having fun.
Yes, that's one thing I'm enjoying with this comment. They're not trying to rush and say so much crap. They are really like natural dialogue between them. Even on times when JR was there doing, oh my god, also wishes out to JR who couldn't be there because of a stroke they had suffered.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I do, even when JR was out there with them, even he got to have some fun with them.
Mm-hmm.
Not just rampages, he got to have some fun.
Yeah, Swerve turning a power bomb into a power slam was fucking awesome.
Oh, this little spot moments there is amazing. And
I love the way Swerve goes like can chain moves together. The vertical suplex into a brainbuster where he like grabs the arms and then rolls into it.
Yes. Oh dude, wait, other spot when Christian was gonna use the Spanish announce desk to do a kill switch, but then Swerve jump. He literally does.
He does a
Mario height jump.
He does
Swerve stomp, and I love the fact that it did not break. I love it did not break because then it's like, oh, even Christian's. It felt like he was going to cage, like Christian.
His guy, got caved in. Dude, a lot of people say that Swerve has not been treated well as world champion. I dis-fucking-agree, man.
It's these comments. It's these people who are trying to kill something just so when it doesn't pan out, they're gonna be like, "Hey, I called it from the start. You didn't call shit from the start. You're just trying to take the piss out of it." Just like when we talked earlier, how people are trying to take the piss out of Cody's title reign when it's just getting started.
Dude,
people need to let shit breathe. People need to let it breathe. Unless it is terrible from the gate, then you have the right to make some criticism towards it. But until then, Swerve and Cody, shut the fuck up on both of them and let their reigns breathe. After the King,
God forbid Swerve, the first thing Swerve does after winning the title is have a 20-minute banger match with Kyle Fletcher.
Oh my, yes. And then having a pound for pound grit match against Claudio Castagnoli. I don't care. I hate when these, you know what? No. I'm gonna jump into another tirade. Swerve is showing what kind of champion he wants to be. He doesn't have to be the paper champ. He doesn't be on paper to be like, okay, I won. Now I'm gonna spend this Dynamite having a 10-minute segment talking about how it feels to be champion. No, he's gonna fucking wrestle.
Yeah,
let other guys.
He's a fighter.
Let other guys do when they're champion. Joe did it when he was champion. Maxwell fucking did it when he was champion. Every time he defended the title, Swerve's gonna be like, no. Next night, anyone who wants to step up, they're gonna step up, and it's it's good as well because let's be honest, Kyle Fletcher, for fuck's sake, not only has he fucking been doing great work as Ring of Honor television champion, but the times you see him in singles matches, I still think about his match against Will Ospreay when Will came back after beating Takeshita on Revolution, man. The following Dynamite match was amazing between the two of them. And then seeing Kyle against Swerve too. And then people were going, who's this guy? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
it muddles my brain.
People just want to complain. But right now, Swerve is being treated incredibly as champion. He is going on every fucking talk show he can promoting AEW. That's what a world champion should do.
And also, even without some big feuds, he's also currently inserted into a bit of a program with the Young Bucks.
Yep, with the Elite.
Exactly. So now, even when Swerve is not defending his championship, which we'll find out tomorrow who he's going to defend against at Forbidden Door.
Oh, really? They've already announced that?
Well, yeah. During the pay-per-view, they announced there's going to be a battle royal on Dynamite for who's going to have the opportunity to face Swerve at Forbidden Door. Now,
okay.
This is another idea in my head, but honestly, it would take a lot of work to pull it off. So I'm going to hold my thoughts on that. But beyond that, this was a great match for Swerve, a great title defense. Christian being the perfect opponent against him. And for right now, Swerve is kind of like his reign is off to a great start.
Yep. Let's move on finally to the main event. Welcome to the shit show, as Justin Roberts.
No. It's not just welcome to the shit show. It's what, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the shit show.
Exactly. Like he let that sit before he said it.
Anarchy in the Arena, Team AEW, which is FTR, Darby Allin, and Bryan Danielson taking on Team Elite, Kazuchika Okada, Matthew Nicholas Jackson, and Kazuchika Okada.
And they all have the Elite comes out, they have their individual, like the Bucks come out in their entrance, then comes Okada, then Jack Perry, and before it even moves over, I love how they just jumped them immediately, like, oh, we're not fucking waiting for our
We're not waiting for you.
Oh my goodness.
I love that the music is still playing.
At first it's Bryan Danielson's music, and then
Darby's music is playing because Darby runs out.
Yes, it's Darby's music. Then the Bucks then Matt comes off, Matt cuts it off. And he's like, let's hear some great music. Play our theme music.
I love it. Brian, and then that doesn't last long. Bryan Danielson goes, play the greatest fucking entrance in wrestling history.
Cut this shit off. He says, cut this shit off. You want real music? Let's play the greatest wrestling theme music of all time. Then comes the final countdown.
The final countdown. Dude, there was beach balls, there was brawling, the final countdown. I love that Darby Allin timed his coffin drop with the beat of the final countdown.
Yeah.
When that first one hit, he dives off the fucking
And the crowd's yelling, "It's the final countdown!"
This is the match I wish I was in attendance for.
Yeah.
I would have had so much fun with this.
Yeah, it was really difficult at first because they're like throwing those cameras across. But I'm like, I'm so into the music, I don't care right now.
Yes.
And then when everything's like, first when it's all this hype moment, Matt grabs a mic and he's like, "Cut it off!
I love this.
$50,000 a minute."
Every time we play it, he was like, "We can't afford this. We're on a budget."
And then I love how Tony on commentary, he's like, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong there, dude. Oh my god.
I think you knocked over something, but it's okay. The opening, I will be honest, while the opening bit was a bit distraction with the camera flying over, but it honestly sums up anarchy and, like Justin said,
I love the four
the four cameras, yes.
Yeah, the four cameras they had.
Yeah, the four mini screens, yeah.
Apparently Dax Harwood got busted open by an asshole fan throwing a beer bottle at him.
Oh my god.
And getting like the dude got injected from the arena.
Which is good. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm reading, is that like he got busted open because a drunk asshole. It says, yeah, Harwood looked to be busted open by a beer can thrown by a dumb fan who was hopefully kicked out.
Well, I'm pretty sure he did get kicked out because that fan, if the guy was drunk, he probably was boasting like, "Oh, hey, I busted his ass open." And the security's like, "Wait, I'm sorry, what? Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, dude. I love when Darby Allin and Jack Perry are fighting. This was actually a very clever cover-up to what happens at the end. To get around the
oh yeah, the last one. But also, it's kind of a good way because Darby, he's still not 100%. I mean, the mask he came out with to protect his face had freaking thumbtacks across it.
I love it.
I mean, I like the design, but also it's kind of a smart way, so he's not hit in the face.
I don't know if you caught this on Dynamite when the Bucks got Darby Allin banned from the arena. Matt Jackson said, "Yeah, he's resilient. He got Final Destination by a bus and just kept kicking."
Yes. Honestly, I was worried a bit why Darby was in this match, but then thinking about it with Team AEW, yes, it is Danielson and FTR guys who were given new life in their careers because of AEW, but Darby truly is 100%, like, to reference what CM Punk said in his feud against MJF, he is the heart and soul of AEW. Darby represents resiliency. He represents the unfueled passion for wrestling, and also the psychotic and sometimes manic energy that goes into wrestling and the daredevil attitude he has. So it made perfect sense. He was the replacement for Eddie Kingston, honestly.
Dude. So yeah, Jack Perry and them are fighting backstage.
Darby, he gives him an ice bath. Like he really dunks his ass in there.
And then it cuts away. And they come back and fucking Jack Perry is running a bus over to where we think Darby Allin is and just runs him over.
Well, not just a bus, but a bus that's got scapegoat on top of it.
But cutting to the wildest part of this match real quick, Jack Perry gets set on fire.
Yes. I mean, I wanted to build towards that, but honestly, there's so many big moments here. I'm like, yeah, we have to immediately address.
The only reason I brought it up now is because it has to do with the point I was making. AEW has a kind of a problem of doing big spots like that and making it very obvious, like the crash pads being there. This is a way they could counteract that, because when if Jack Perry shows up back into the arena soaking wet without being dunked in the water, he has something on his skin. Yeah. But because they showed Darby dunking him in the water, it makes sense that he'll still be wet.
Yeah.
But he could put the flame retardant gel, which is why he was so shiny, and
Yeah.
then getting set on fire.
Yeah. But also, not only when he got lit on fire, they immediately went so quick into mode. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's got like that a couple seconds where you see him like spinning around like crazy, and then just like that, right on top, Bucks come in with the fire
Yeah.
hydrant. And yeah, also the time what you're seeing with some of the spots. Because unfortunately with AEW, they have not had the best track record when it comes with like the work safety of their wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we think of the Matt Hardy concussion against in his match against Sammy Guevara,
Yeah.
and then of course Jarrett. Yeah, that fake looking stage with the crash pad there. That was them promoting safety. It just wasn't like covered
Mm-hmm.
up very well. And then dangerous moments when Swerve had gotten sliced open, or was it Dax? No. It was Dax. Yeah, because he got his arm sliced on that
Cash.
exposed. No, Cash. When Cash got his arm sliced on that metal part of the turnbuckle, to now they cover every part of that turnbuckle, not just the ropes or the padding. They also cover that part up too. Like AW, they are still young in their. They're 5 years. They're still in their. They are still young, so they are learning mistakes to where they can be better. I mean, the fact is, during their first year, they stopped with the chair shots, unprotected chair shots, after Cody had gotten those stitches in his head.
Yeah.
So people can't say AEW are not learning anything. It's just more of sometimes something they worked out to where it is good. Once the application and once it happens in execution, it just looks like a mess. But
And
this
it was
perfect,
also
done well.
It was also perfect that Jack Perry was the one that got set on fire, because you know that he knows people in Hollywood who can do prosthetics like that, and they know exactly what gel to use because
Also,
of his.
I think a fan came across a live chat saying Jack set himself on fire before. So
Did he really? So
yeah,
someone in the comments of a video was like, "Real fire, cry me a river."
that was hilarious. No, yeah, because later on Twitter, I came across a video where it showed Jack Perry in a backyard with some, I think, some professionals, and yeah, it was showing himself like practicing getting on fire.
Jesus, but that dude, I was laughing my ass off when I was like, "Oh my god, they're going there! They set this dude on fire." I love that the Bucks were immediately there with the fire extinguishers.
Like Jack Perry hasn't had a singles match in AEW since he returned, and
the dude is being set on fire.
Exactly. So
this is his first match back. Dude,
like officially back.
The Rainmaker with the fucking thumbtack sleeve. So good. And then, dude.
Oh, wait. Matt hits Dax with an exploding chair.
Yes. Yes. Then they fucking hog-tie Darby to a hook that was released down. And he's hung up there like a fucking pinata.
Oh, boy.
The Reebok product placement shot was amazing because they're promoting the Bucks' new shoes, but they have thumbtacks on the bottom of it.
My God, that was very fun. But even then, like, they take the mask off Darby, and they honestly are taking their time making sure Darby is secured on that.
Which, good on them.
Yeah. And then, they pull him up there, super kick Darby in the face where he's hanging. And then, my God, like, he was up there for so long, the crowd really started going, "Please help Darby."
Darby.
And
oh my God!
Like they're doing like the Bucks are putting all their shit in while Darby is just hanging there in the middle of the ring. By the time Danielson comes in to take down the Bucks and Kazuchika, by the time he even gets a chance to be like, "Okay, I'm going to help you down," Jack Perry comes in with his own Busaiku knee and then gets
the Regal knee.
Oh, the Regal knee, yeah, Regal knee or his running knee, and then gets the pin 1, 2, 3 for the victory.
Oh, one more spot I want to bring up that I just thought was so fucking funny. The Bucks saying, bring up the escalator entrance, and they just drag Darby's body, and you just see his whole body float down.
Oh, it was
Oh my god.
Like that was really interesting. Like 100%. I think this Anarchy Arena was definitely better than the last one they had, which I believe was at All In.
So someone said, "Oh, so what is it? Eddie Kingston watching Double
Oh
or
yeah,
Nothing."
when Jack Break got on fire, Eddie Kingston cried.
Yeah,
Or
Eddie Kingston cried.
Eddie Kingston shed a tear because I remember the one on the Double or Nothing he was in, he wanted to pour gasoline on Danielson.
Yes, so it was like that one single tear of Kingston watching at home.
Oh,
No, Kingston pulls a Dolph Ziggler. It should have been me.
he. I'm kind of curious. Maybe there was a planned fire spot with Kingston involved.
Probably. This match was insane. I fucking love it. I love hardcore wrestling to begin with. This is what I wanted. This was insane.
Yeah.
Darby Allin has already said he's not planning to be in pro wrestling that long anyway. So that dude's going to maim himself.
Yeah, he does not. I mean, look, Darby, he has that daredevil attitude. He doesn't see a long future in wrestling because he has other. He really does have other ambitions,
outlets. Yeah,
ambitions and outlets outside of wrestling. So at that point where he finally goes down to, I am walking away from wrestling. He has a great career, not just in AEW, but also in other promotions like Evolve. Well, I think he did a small stint in MLW. I don't know. I'll look up his track run. But he's had a huge explosion in the wrestling scene to where he's going like, yes, I will walk away from wrestling and I will be content with what I have done.
Yeah, I love the fact that when Jack Perry was coming back through the tunnel, he just grabbed fucking Tony Khan and just
he just saw Tony and he looks at the camera and with that cartoonish smile, he's like
the shit-eating grin.
Oh my goodness. And then I think after the review, a fan showed a video of Tony just rolling down the ramp and then immediately just getting the fuck out of there.
Dude, it's so funny. Tony Khan is really playing this up. He had Tanahashi stay at the press conference with him to make sure he didn't get attacked.
That was amazing, honestly.
This was a 5 out of 5 star for me, man.
I didn't see all the media scrum, but this was a great pay-per-view, honestly.
I'll say
some they have the right outcomes on the majority of these matches, I will say.
Yeah. I actually think having Jack Perry get the pin was the best option.
Just like in the last one at Double or Nothing, Takeshita was the one that got the pin, really helping cement him like really further in the future as a star.
Jack Perry is going to be a world champion in AEW. I have no doubt.
Yeah, he will.
And actually, I wonder if this is where they're going with it. I wonder if the Bucks are going to put Jack Perry in the Owen Hart tournament.
That was something we didn't touch on. On 0 Hour, it was introduced that with Martha Hart, that the winner of the Owen Hart tournament, the men's, women's, will challenge for the world title at All In. And it does.
I love that.
I love that. I was saying to a friend of mine, I think now the big two tournaments that AEW should have, the Owen Hart tournament
and the Continental Classic.
Yes, because then it helps the space in between their big events. Double or Nothing to All In, and then between Full Gear and Revolution.
World's End.
Yeah, there's World's End there. But even before it was introduced, there was that Full Gear to Revolution. Continental Classic is great in between those two big pay-per-views with World's End there now.
Yeah. So I actually have a feeling that Jack Perry may win the men's tournament because
if he is inserted there, yeah,
I think the Elite will put him in there, and I think the whole idea is that like because the story is that Christian Cage was handpicked by the Elite, to take out Swerve. I have a feeling that Swerve now going after the Elite more often they're going to put their scapegoat in there because he deserves it. You know, he's our golden child. He's our nepo baby. We're going to give him special treatment, put him in the tournament, make sure he wins, and then at All In, you've already got a built-in story with Swerve going after the Elite for what they did with to Tony Khan, and you've got that built into All In.
Now, kind of like with the women's bracket, there's also another wrestler I'm holding out hope for who will also make a return in the men's tournament that ties into Swerve's story that I think, personally to me, as a black man, would be great.
Keith Lee?
Yes, Keith Lee. Yes, I'm dragging it out there, but I would love to see at All In their second big event.
Sorry.
Sold out Wembley Arena to see Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland main events for the world title. That's just me with my aspirations as a black man to see that. I would love, because it makes sense, because Keith Lee, before he got hurt, he was supposed to fight Swerve at World's End, but had to fall out because of a lingering injury. Now, people did show during the Hall of Fame that Keith Lee was there. Well, I mean, he was there supporting with his wife, with Mia Yim.
Yeah.
But he had that accident where he walked in on an interview. And
I saw that.
People were going crazy, like, "Oh my God, signs Keith Lee's coming back to WWE." No, he's still contracted. To me,
he's like, there with Mia.
Yeah, it's like when Buddy was there with Rhea, and same as well with when Andrade was there with. Oh no, I don't think he and Charlotte. I mean, are they still together? Or are they having problems?
I don't know.
No, but even beyond then, I think having Keith Lee show back up. This is not only Keith Lee getting some wanting to get unfinished business with Swerve, but also in a way it can be like with Keith Lee if he wins. Like this is me fancy booking here. But I'm saying if he wins, Keith Lee can say to Swerve, "While nothing would make me happier to see you get what's coming to you, I want to take that championship off your waist." So between like the finale of the men's tournament and All In, we have an understanding between each other to where Keith Lee is a temporary ally to Swerve, just in case the Elite wants to fuck with the Swerve. Keith Lee, just like what Joe did with MJF. He wants to protect his investment. Keith Lee's like, no, I want to protect our main event.
That would also make sense because last year at All In, it was the best friends going at it. It was Adam Cole and MJF.
Yeah.
But now it's
a romance between the two of them. This is a falling out of.
This is a falling out of two best friends.
Yes.
So you have two best friends forming together at All In last year. Now it's Swerve and Keith Lee, who were former tag team champions, former friends, now turned enemies.
I mean, and also for me, like I said, as a black man, it would show it would be great of diversity and representation for any young fan, any young aspiring wrestling fan to look at that moment in AEW's history. Swerve being the first black champion, and then Keith Lee, who was also he and Swerve together became the first African Americans become tag champions at AEW. Having those two main event at All In it's another beautiful moment for people to uphold, just like when Kofi had won at WrestleMania. You know, something
that would be so cool.
Like seeing how far wrestling has come for finally black athletes to start being in the main picture. Like I said, this is me holding out hope if he returns. If he's healthy enough.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I hope Keith Lee is healthy enough. But if not, then I think Jack Perry is also a great option. Just because you have that Swerve versus the Elite storyline, that Jack Perry could get his moment at All In. Not that he wins, but I think Swerve will win. But Jack Perry is in the main event of All In. That would do a lot for his career as well.
Not only that, but it would be a huge middle finger to what happened last time at All In. He was in the 0 hour.
Oh my God, yes. You bring up the fact that, like, hey, I was on the pre-show last year, and now I'm in the main event.
And I mean, look, the tribalism will go. If that does happen, it's obvious the tribalism are going to just tear it apart. Well, not tear. They'll eat it up, and then they're going to tear at it. You know.
You don't even have to bring up CM Punk. You could. That would be funny.
AEW won't. I mean, I'm pretty sure they may do that just to be like a. They may do that because it fits into their characters. And then, of
Mhm.
course, you're gonna have so many pundits and so many fans are gonna be like, "Oh, AEW just can't let it go." I'm sorry, if Vince McMahon had no problem taking something that was real life and making it into a storyline. AEW is following fucking suit. Bischoff, despite no matter what
Mhm.
criticism he lays against AEW, he too had no problem using real life shit to make
Yep.
to make controversy. Guys like
And
Cornette,
again, I will die on this hill.
Mhm.
Them showing that backstage security footage from All In was the perfect thing to do because Jack Perry got so fucking over because of
Yeah.
it.
Look, we were all, most of us who want to see AWC, we were all worried how that
Mhm.
would play out. But the fact is that I've said it to friends, I've said it maybe before in different areas on people who listen to me. Punk showed his hypocrisy. He showed some of his hypocrisy. And no matter what he says, I mean, look, if he sees things from his perspective, that's his perspective. But the problem is that if Punk's gonna say this shit, I prefer he does it on a neutral footing on someone who is not, let's just say, anti AEW inclined, who is currently signed as an official reporter
Yep.
or official journalist for TKO. So it just comes
Mhm.
out as complete bias. Like if Punk had said some of this stuff on maybe with Chris Van Vliet, I will understand
Mhm.
that. Or if he said this on Fightful, I will understand his coming from a point of view. But it's because of that guy Ariel, who honestly has had so much shoddy journalism that I just didn't believe a fucking word. And the fact that he did the same things with Cody Rhodes and with Josh Bartlett, and both of those men were able to deflect
Mhm.
and reassess and go, look, we had our issues with AEW, but that's in private. We're gonna.
Josh did such a good job at deflecting that answer
Mm-hmm.
because why would you even like? I don't understand why Ariel would want to bring that up to Josh Barnett.
That's
He
why it
worked
just
a
shows me the
few.
hypocrisy of CM
He worked
Punk.
a few shows with AEW, and
Yeah.
that's it.
That's why Cody, who formed AEW with them, who has a
Mhm.
friendship with them, who left for personal reasons, he deflected very well as well. That's why I see the hypocrisy in Punk. Punk says he wants to move on, but Ariel brings it up, and he's just more of like, oh no, fuck, I'm just gonna let it all off on the table. You didn't have
Yeah,
to bring it up.
Punk
You
could have
didn't have to
easily
use it.
deflected. If they deflected, you can.
I'm not really trying to be a CM Punk hater. I'm just saying that if Punk is going to go on television, cut promos about how he wants to move on, do things and make money and work and do things where he wants to put the bad shit
Mhm.
behind him, back up what you're saying, like live.
I'm sorry, but the man who ends his first promo on Collision with counterfeit bucks does not get to talk about AEW. Keep bringing his name up.
Or when he came back from his foot injury and calls out Hangman uncalled for, even though
Mm-hmm.
Hangman 2 months apart from when Hangman did that shot at him. Look, guys, if okay, you know what? I don't give a fuck. If you love CM Punk, you love him. He's your guy. He's your guy. But he is not this idol. He is not this. He's not infallible. He has shown he's a little. He is
Mm-hmm.
just like what you all like to call the Bucks. Just like what you guys took shots at Cody, at Kenny when Cody was part of AEW. He is, and with Jericho, he's also petty as well. And you saw the pettiness in, but I'm going to drop all that. But tying back into Jack Perry though, the fact that Jack Perry does main event, that literally is kind of like the young Bucks just doing their, like the fans said, their quote unquote victory celebration dance to finally put
Mm-hmm.
this in the dirt.
All right,
But
guys.
personally, I want to see Keith Lee and Swerve main event.
Mm-hmm. That'd be amazing.
I will not fight against if it's Jack Perry, but we won't know until they reveal the bracket setups,
Mm-hmm.
who are gonna wrestle. Until then, we are just speculating. We are just fantasy booking, guys, and what we are also saying. So sorry, are our opinions. We
Mm-hmm.
are not basing this on fact, guys. We're not like any of these journalists out there that's trying to make facts. We're just giving out our opinions.
Yep. All right, guys, that has been everything for AEW Double or Nothing. Right now, I think AEW's 3 for 3 with pay-per-views. I think every
Yeah, they
single
have
one
been
in
killing.
2024 they have hit, they have absolutely killed. I think Dynasty was amazing, Revolution was incredible, and I think this was awesome as well. This might be my favorite Double or Nothing.
They did. I'll be honest. I do like last year's Double or Nothing, but yeah, that was a dead crowd, and I did say earlier on, yeah, if it wasn't for Backlash in France, it did put a jolt in the arms of American crowds here, guys. Hey, we're kind of taking wrestling for granted. So whenever we get those international audiences, like in Puerto Rico or in France with those huge pops, that's a fucking wake-up call.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? This could have, I mean, I don't think it is the last one. But let's just say next year's Double or Nothing is not in Vegas. This is kind of like a good crowd to end it on. I mean, sure.
I would always keep Double or Nothing in Vegas. I think that's
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure they will. I'm just saying, if this was
the
last one,
make it almost like SummerSlam was, where it was in the Staples Center for so long.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tony Khan, he always, at least for Double or Nothing and for All Out, he has locked
All
in
in.
locations.
All out, you mean?
No, All In, he has at Wembley, but even then, All Out, it was always in Chicago.
Chicago.
And Wrestle Dream, it looks like it's permanently going to be in Seattle.
By the way, speaking of Wrestle Dream, Bryan Danielson did say his contract is up at All In, I believe he said, but he's going to extend his contract out to Wrestle Dream so he can have his final match in his home city.
Also, I also had a fantasy booking in my head with Swerve as well, that he either wins or loses his belt at Wrestle Dream in his hometown. And the way in my mind I booked it would be him against Darby Allin, because those two also have some history, because he did attack Nick Wayne in his home to get at Darby Allin. So
that is true.
Yeah, so for me, yeah, I'm always thinking of ways to find opponents that will fit into Swerve's past misdeeds to make
both are also Washington boys as well.
Yeah, they're both Washington guys.
Mm-hmm. That could be interesting. All right, Ryan. So we're almost 3 hours in. Let's go ahead and end it. Where can people find you online, brother?
Well, you guys can find me on Twitter, which I don't post a lot. I just mainly just repost, or I will like and comment a few times. You can find me on Instagram, which I rarely use as well. But as far as wrestling opinions go, you can find me here. You can also find me on the Wrestling Podcast. I co-host with my friend James Shimo and our collaborator Bretton McPherson, called Wrestling Ramblings and Rages Podcast. 2024, we were off to a strong start, but yeah, like once life came in, it grinded us to a halt. But we still have some episodes that are out there. We do have at least one half of our bracket of the worst wrestling gimmicks that you can listen to. We also did top 10 episodes on top 10 count. We did a top 10 list on couples in shoot and in real life. We did best and worst Royal Rumble winners. James did a booking on how Cody would finish the story way before The Rock was added into the picture. And first off, you can find this podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Pocket Casts.
There you go. All right, guys. If you did enjoy this, please hit the like button, subscribe to Nerd Entertainment Network down below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.